Eventually, hey, it finally went live. So, hi, this is Aaron Carson with Role Playing Public Radio, and this is a Patreon game, first of the month of April 2019. The game that we are playing today is Inverse World, and the way. Well, we already started off with a fun one today. We're me not talking at all. The name of this scenario is Nocturne. Lusibus. And we have three of our intrepid players out with us today. So, starting off from the left, can you describe your character and who you are? Starting with Tony.
Hi, I'm Click. I'm an android. I'm a walker, and my goal is to do cool stuff while free running.
so, something of a thrill seeker in the world of Invels.
Yeah.
All right, and Dan.
I think you mean Daniel if we're going
Oh,
left
Daniel.
to right.
Okay, yeah, go for it. So I'm going by the names here, so go for it.
I'm Daniel. I'm playing Ramos, who is a collector. His drive is to collect magical curios and make sure that they stay out of wrong hands. And I go around sort of riding on my steampunky Hercules beetle construct and collect magic items and hope that people don't get hurt from them.
Oh, excellent. So, all right, and then finally Dan.
Maxwell E, who is the mechanic, apparently, probably just a mechanic. His mecha suit has the word roundabout painted on it on the sides. And he's very into building things that shouldn't work.
Excellent. So something, if it's defying any laws of normal physics, it should be okay.
Invention and ingenuity, using things in the way they are not supposed to, like rules, laws.
Just fly in the face right now as long as it's doing it.
Yep.
Excellent.
Making do with what you got in a way people don't expect.
All right. Well, all of you are part of a general crew on a cloud ship within the world of Invels. Invels is a large state, basically a cloud sea with different bodies of landmass that are surrounding a star or a possibly trapped god called Solaris that have been there since the beginning of time, as far as you've known. Part of your adventures is that you've been always been able to go to different islands seeking out riches as need be or pieces of older technology from the civilizations that came before you. But part of that has always been just the wonder of it as you're going through this. As I will say, nobody chose the captain in this case. You're all part of just a generalized crew. What is the name of the ship that you travel on?
The Scrivener.
What was that?
The Scrivener.
The Scrivener.
Sometimes it prefers not to.
Scrivener. Okay. All right. And who is the captain of the Scrivener? Who is the person who is usually delegating different your objectives and your jobs on the ship?
Captain Pegleg.
Pegleg. All right. So sometimes he actually goes by Captain Hook, or preferably Dr. Hook, but mainly because he has a singing career that he doesn't like to talk about beforehand. So, but otherwise, he has actually heard of a fairly unique job that may have interested everybody else on to the crew, particularly going back to one of the largest trade islands within Invels called Hephaestus Link. Hephaestus Link is primarily known for being a hub for a lot of repairs. Basically, it's a dock that provides raw resources for a lot of the cloud ships that come in and go. But another thing that it is well known for is that for years on end, decades upon decades, it's sat in the shadow of a large, that's another island that is actually a dead city, a grand looming necropolis that one day mysteriously floated upwards from the lower levels of the clouds to the level with Hephaestus's Link. Normally, it just ended up being as a general oddity, but about 3 years ago, there was an incident in which a unearthly howling could be heard from from the shores, and also, and during that time they were worried that something was waking up within the city, some grander power that threatened the potential safety of the chain islands. So in turn, they made another call for adventurers, and the previous group that went out there ended up coming in contact with an Echomancer, a specific type of spellcaster that dealt with the with bringing back with communicating with the dead, or at least the spirits of the dead. With the help of these other adventurers, they managed to find out what was going on, which, through general lore and storytelling, was apparently the soul of a girl who had been used in a horrible necromantic experiment that this Echomancer freed. However, once the adventurers left, he decided to explore it because this island is just massive. It is basically a city-state that floats in there. And once that happened, the residents of Hephaestus Link began to see the island as just another oddity again. Sometimes they would use it for tourism. Hey, come and see the giant city of the dead. We're not taking you over there, but look at it. Um, but within the recent couple of months, they've actually noticed activity coming from it, but not the howling that they heard before. More or less strange, rather upbeat music that has been it's like emanating at the late hours of the night. And some of the other cloud ships who have gotten close to it have actually seen vessels going through and in and out of the walls, not within the normal ports. So, they believing that this might be another issue, they have made calls for other adventurers to examine the city and to see if they could find any if there's any issue there, or in particular if this might be another thing that had been sleeping within the city that is awoken. So the captain has stated that they are going to be taking you into to the city instead, but they don't want to risk the full crew, so they're looking for volunteers to be able to traverse and and see if they can troubleshoot what the problem is. So, that being said, when he brings when no volunteers come up, he brings up Captain Pegleg, calls you three in for generalized conscription. So
Oh,
that your abilities and interests seem to be aligned with this particular mission. So you will be going on in there instead. So, with that being said, since this is you've been working on a team for a while, we'll go into the bonds. And for those who have not played Powered by the Apocalypse before, bonds are things that the characters have with each other that they can role play off in order to be able to gain experience. So starting off with Click, if you look into your bonds, what are the two bonds that you like to share with your two Cavamates that you want to do with Ramos and Maxi?
well, with Ramos, I definitely want to have a running bet going with him.
Okay.
Yeah, we can talk about what that is.
Okay, so what is the running bet?
We're always betting each other to do really, really dumb stuff that gets us in trouble. But
okay.
for some reason, we just find like, all right, I want you to go over there and steal that guy's watch. Or,
okay,
you see that car over there? I bet you could blow it up.
All right, so you're basically trying to out prank each other in a sense, or
yeah,
see what cannot control.
see who can do the stupidest stuff without getting caught or without getting we'll back each other up.
All right.
Okay. Good.
Okay, that'll work out there. All right, so make sure that you put that on your character sheet. So for your and what is your bond with Max?
With Max, I have 3 more. Max, maybe you can pick whichever one you think is coolest for your character.
Well, this is your decision, so this is what you think of him, essentially. So,
okay.
Yeah, because everybody's going to be different on this one, so you pick these two.
Okay. I'll say that Max definitely impresses me with the mechanical suit, and with my own walking abilities, I need to one-up him.
Okay, so what up? So you're kind of in a general competition with him as well, but in a different aspect. So all right, so make sure to write that down there. In that case, Ramos. So what are your bonds with everybody with the other two look like?
I would say that my bond with Click is that Click helped me find something rare and wonderful. So, like throughout, with Click's walking abilities and/or just by what we dare and push each other to do, I've definitely found some curios that would have been sort of beyond me or too dangerous for me to look for in the past. So, definitely helped me find something rare and wonderful. Maybe even my my prized crossbow which I carry. Maybe that was something that that I was able to find with Click's help.
Okay.
So that's all right. And I guess Maxwell, definitely a valuable asset. Definitely, I'm not too strong myself. If we're going to go into the fray, I definitely want Maxwell to be around.
All right. So protect right now. Excellent. So, all right, go ahead and put those down.
Okay.
All right, and Maxwell. So what
All
are
right.
your bonds look like?
Click helped me put my suit back together.
Excellent.
Seems natural. Which leaves really personal assistant or dinged up my paint job for Ramos.
So
I'm gonna go
Godhead.
with you know what? Personal. He doesn't know it, but I always assume that he's my personal assistant.
Okay, so that you're going to use him in that capacity because he needs to learn something. He needs to have a trade to be able to define himself on the ship.
Well, I just don't want to deal with finding restaurants and so forth when we stay at a port. It's like, where are we going? Yeah, good. Make sure we have a table.
Just to be the person leading in that one. Excellent. So
He
all right.
has more social skills, clearly.
That is true. So, all right. So now you have to find what you are together to. The captain has brought you together specifically saying that he needs, before we go in, we need to be able to determine what is going on here. So because ultimately the only things that we really know about are the rumors that have been heard and stories from 3 years ago. And ultimately, that's not really a lot of good intel to go off of, especially if we're literally entering into a ghost city. So what we need to do is to be able to research and define some stuff here to make sure that we can go through. The one thing you do know is that the locals have named the city, the giant necropolis itself, the Requiem Necrom. So, which has been something more of just a tourism board, but now that the music is coming from from the city, it seems a little more appropriate. So, they send the three of you out into town to be able to figure out some stuff about the city itself before heading out onto the quest. So, these will be things that you will actually define about that's like the necropolis itself. So, I will give you a question, and you will let me know what you think, or what you think the answer to this question is. So, first off, what is a common thing to the Necrom that is in this city that is obviously missing from every other city? So,
like, what's one aspect about?
yes. So basically, what's common thing in that every other city has that's missing from this city?
Doesn't have
Restaurants.
Restaurants.
There's no food.
No.
No food. Okay, no restaurants, no food. So that might be a problem.
I mean, it's the city of the dead, right?
That's true. So
I mean,
Maybe
it
that's
looked
how it
like
got
food
dead.
at one time, but man, that cheese is moving.
all right. All right, so there's no food, so maybe getting some supplies and bargaining for that with a roll might be a good idea. So, or it might be something that could help you out. So, all right, another question: what rare thing in every other city what is a rare thing that other cities might have that this city has in excess or abundance?
Just chock full of sort of a lot of, just because it came up from the depths, just a lot of extra sort of old ancient technology to scavenge. Like it's sort of, there's like just a lot of stuff to scavenge if you're not scared of it and you go there and actually start digging stuff up.
Okay, so repository of ancient that's like cloud sailing technology, other things
Sure.
that are there. All right, excellent. And that's actually something else that's well known as well. They could be very valuable considering that there are other weapons that are not affected by the physics of Solaris, the sun that goes through there. So because that powers almost everything that you're working there. So ancient cloud technology. All right. So the next thing, so as far as you know, and this is also just going from the rumor mill as well, but obviously there's some activity going through it. So what activity is abnormally common in the city?
It's a hub for pirates and people who are going back and forth. That's
Okay.
Well,
So
do
it's
okay.
all right. So it's been about 3 years since there's been any particular activity. So that could be the rumor that it's a hub for it's like pirate activity. So a modern day Tortuga. So that might be a reason why you're hearing a lot more of the activity in there. So, all right. All right. Any other ideas, or just going with the hub for the pirates?
What was the exact question again?
Basically, what kind of activity, what thing is going on is abnormally common in this city. So essentially, something that would be far more common in this area than any other place in the clouds.
I mean, it's the undead walk.
The undead walk. So the undead walk. All right. So
I hope that's uncommon.
Yeah.
I kind of like both of those. So Huffer Pirates and the undead walk. All right.
Or undead pirates.
Undead pirates. So, oh,
you guys have seen the first Pirates of the Caribbean, right?
Exactly.
shoot, you want to get sued? So,
Nope.
yeah. Anyway,
Fair
but no,
use,
I like
fair use.
I like both those. All right, and another one. What activity is prohibited in the city?
But by who if everyone's dead?
Again, as far as you know, but think about this is what rumors you would hear of basically people talking about this either in pubs, restaurants,
There's
out on the
music
street
that's
market.
coming from the city, right?
Yes.
If you play or reference the wrong music while you're in the city, it attracts unwanted attention.
Okay, so discordant music attracts attention, so I like that.
Or if there's discordant music coming out, like then playing cordant music attracts unwanted attention.
Well, it is very, as far as you can tell, because I'll say that you spend the night within Hephaestus Link, and you do hear it, and it's actually very melodic. So it is actually very pleasing to what you said. It's not something in minor chords that's making you feel depressed. It's actually pretty upbeat, but discordant
K-pop
music
coming from the island.
Not sure what that. Nobody at Hephaestus Link is certain what that is. So, is that what that music is supposed to be called? Do you play it with a fiddle? I don't know.
So is it the macabre?
All right. So, and last question here. So, which of the previous answers that you've given, so basically the common things, the rare things, possibly hides a deeper, sinister secret? So, what of these things hides something that could be problematic?
The ancient tech.
The ancient tech? Okay.
That's what I was going to say as well.
Alrighty.
This old battlefield's totally fine. There won't be any super weapons buried here.
Alrighty.
Well, not anymore after that explosion.
Alrighty. So that is all that you will be able to go ahead and get out of this. So these are general rumors that you have from the city itself. One last thing that I will go ahead and allow you to do, because for the character sheets, did they state that you had any money or?
Yeah,
well, that was an option under gear.
Under gear. So okay, I will say that
one that I did not take because you said it wasn't important.
Yeah, and that is correct. So it's not going to be a big thing. So I will say that you are given a stipend of at least 5 coin. So to be able to go out and get anything else, and I will allow a purchase of 1 additional gear. So this could be something on this or on your list, or if you have a specific idea of something that you might need. So go ahead and take the time.
Each of us get 1?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's correct.
Mm.
Or I would say if you would like to go ahead and do that, that you can also keep that as bargaining chips if you feel that it would be a necessity. So.
I'll go ahead and take an extra gear.
Okay.
It's bandages and 1d6 coin. Is that cool?
Yes, that would be fine. So I'll say that's something you've taken in there. All right.
So, question about the mech. Is there any reason I would not be wearing this all the time?
Usually if there are certain areas that you couldn't get into, but or if there's something where it's damaged. So, but
Right,
yeah,
right.
if for all intents and purposes, you will be wearing it as long as you want to. So,
Okay, so I don't need extra protective clothing.
yeah.
Being a little spooked at like, oh, undead, huh? I mean, I guess maybe I'll get the extra gear I'll get is the spare clothing for any occasion, including light armor. And I'll probably don my armor, maybe even sleep in it, because, I don't know, ghosts sound spoopy.
They do kind of do that, so.
So I have an armor now.
Yeah, that armor is definitely going to protect you from the ghosts.
Should we bring like a 5-pound bag of salt? Because that's supposed to work against ghosts, right?
5-pound tack of salt, so, I'll allow that, so. You never know when that might come in handy. I'll allow it.
Gotta put up those spirit barriers somehow.
Yep. But well, okay. In this case, before you do that, go ahead and make. I'll say before you buy that, just as a case, go ahead and make a lore check. So that's going to be spout lore. And you can put and wisdom will add into that. So
okay, so there it is, spout lore. It says plus int. You want wisdom on this one? Okay.
It says an int. Oh yeah, I just saw that immediately. I thought it was wisdom. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and roll intelligence.
+2, whatever it is. Hello. That's a 14.
That's a 14. Holy crap! So, all right. Yes. You actually. So that's. So yeah, you do. It does actually ward against spirits, and since you got a really good success on that, it's a 14.
Yeah, 12 plus 2.
The 14, yeah, for your intelligent good. So, so it not only does that, but you can also state that it does one other effect.
Deanimate zombies.
Deanimate zombies. Okay, yep, you have salt that deanimates zombies. So
it's like pour the salt in the eyes, and that should be it for me.
That will create barriers. So excellent. Good job on that. That actually provides exactly something that will be probably useful. Although I will say that for that, and it's probably only a 5-pound bag. So I'm going to say that you have 4 uses of it before it's gone. So that's pretty
well. That's with the one bag.
So yeah, if you want to do that, you might have to find more consecrated stuff. But somebody slaved hard over this bag of salt.
Okay,
so it's holy salt.
It also makes the rations taste a little bit less bad.
That is true. So,
but that's not really
4 uses.
Alrighty,
that's not 4 uses. Just a little sprinkle.
Okay, so you get all the information that you need. You're about to head on out. I will say something. Everybody else, go ahead and make. Everybody else roll 1 dice and tell me what you get.
Everyone
else?
Okay.
Just everybody. Yes, just 1 dice.
And so a single d6?
Single d6, yes. All right.
I got a 3.
Okay.
I got a 2.
2. All right. And Daniel. Okay. So with that said, yeah. 1 second. I'm trying to flip between here. Come on, you. All right. In that case, Max and Click, you just get back onto the ship. You're fine. You go back down to start working on the mech suit or getting prepped on there. Ramos, you get pulled over to the side.
Yep, yes.
By Captain Pegleg.
Oh, yes, Captain.
Look, I didn't really want to say this in front of anybody else, but we may have a slight issue.
Oh.
I had it's like I had heard these as rumors beforehand, but it seems to be confirmed that the Windblade is that's like also coming departed from one of the larger islands in the Link just as of yesterday and was heading towards the necropolis. So you would possibly best to be a little bit more careful if once you wander in there, because I am uncertain of what's going to happen with them. And for free, I will let you know that the crew of the Windblade is a noted set of adventurers that they aren't really pirates, but they are known for being hyper aggressive when it comes to anybody else honing in on a job. So
Okay.
that they
Alright.
consider it to be theirs. Now, granted, this job was put out to all other adventurers, but if they potentially find you on the island, there might be trouble. So
They're brash people. I'll make sure to fend them off if they find anything too dangerous, because we don't want it falling into their hands, now do we?
well, I would like, again, I like profit. I like being able to help when we can, but you will be on your own on this one since we're just sending you the 3. So I will the only thing I will guarantee you right now is the insurance for your burial and the and the small stipend to your family. That is it.
You are an excellent motivator.
So that's what I'm here for. And he walks back up to the ship. So you do have this information. It was told in confidence on there, so you can choose to share this with your crewmates, or you can say nothing about it. So I leave that to you.
I think I'll share with my crewmates. I think I'll sort of go down and say we might have some trouble. The captain didn't want to say anything before, but apparently those Windblade goons are going to be joining us on the island. Hopefully we won't run into them, but
It's a big island.
All right. So yeah, in this case, but yeah, it's a potential issue. I will say that now that you have it, you can either for that case, it's a situation essentially for this. So you can either spout lore if you want to give more information specifically about the about the Windblade crew if you need that, or you can discern reality to see if there's a particular issue that might come up from this.
I wouldn't mind spouting lore. Like, maybe that would also maybe make sense why I said something in the first place, because let's hope I don't completely whiff this roll. But
okay. All right, so I will go ahead. Yep. First off, Daniel, you can make your roll for that. Go ahead and do it.
And would my I guess my catalog of the strange and mysterious wouldn't necessarily know anything about an extant pirate crew, would it?
Strange and mysterious. Yeah, I'm gonna say that's not in this case. So that's more along the island if you need it. So not in this case.
Okay. Okay. I spoke in error. I know very little about these guys. I got a 3, 2 plus 1.
They're known for being very kind and gentle with other people when they capture them. So you're good. So
surely the captain was confused there then.
Yeah,
possibly. Make sure to mark off an XP for that as well. So okay.
Cool.
All right, because once you get 10, that can be a level up. Anyway, all right, all right, so that's your move. Maxwell or Click, you can go ahead and if you want to do discern reality, you can study the situation and see what is and wisdom and see if and ask one of the questions if you make it. So
sure. 5 failure.
5. Okay. Just go ahead and mark that off.
All right, 9 plus 1, 10.
10, excellent. So, all
right,
so
the reality, I guess, what's that?
Yep. So you have a +1 forward, so you get 2 questions. So, sorry, ask 3 questions to the GM. So, you can ask any one of those questions.
So before I ask those questions, what was the exact assignment the captain gave us again?
The exact assignment is to be able to get onto the island.
Yep.
Just determine the source of the source of the music or the disturbances, and to be able to find a way to either halt it if it's dangerous, or to manage it if it's a benign issue.
Got it. So find it and figure out what to do with it.
Yes.
Okay, so
and this is a concern right now. You don't know as much right now, but this will link into it right now since you do have the
So we're going to
information.
go with what here is not what it appears to be.
What here is not what it appears to be. Actually, the music itself, because I will say that you are hearing this now as you're getting closer to the island, and you do catch wind of the ships. The ships that you were seeing moving forth are not physical. They seem to be made of some sort of ethereal pinkish energy that goes through, and you can actually see figures on there. So those are definitely spirits. They're not they are not physical ships that are moving around.
And those are on the island, above the island, or around the island?
They are around the island. They are essentially on the periphery near the docks, but they are moving in. They are not in the docks. They are moving in and out of the walls.
Okay. What should I be on the lookout for?
You should. That's specifically the you would be on the lookout for any physical ships, or basically the different instances where you see physical items around, because the walls, the necropolis itself, when you do see the harbor, basically is more or less desolate of any kind of objects that would have rotted away, except for the stonework years ago. But I'll say that you can see this already, that there are actually grappling hooks and places where other ships have tried to dock into it and seem to have been dislodged. So people
So
have been
something
trying
is repelling people
into
trying to board.
trying to, as far as you can tell, they're trying to repel into the into over the walls and into the city itself, trying not to get to the dock. So that might be an issue with possibly getting in there if they're on the sides of the walls.
Okay, I just lost track. So the grappling hooks are on the walls.
Yeah,
the harbor. Is there a gate at the harbor, or
there is no gate, but it looks like no ships are docked there.
okay? So, but basically, people have been trying to go over the walls rather than using where the harbor is and just walking in.
Mm-hmm. That is correct.
Okay. Or is it evidence that people were? You said that they were pushing the grappling hooks off, like there's someone there defending the city, or
no, it's basically that the ships, the dock, for some reason does not look like it's being used at all. The ships that you assume were probably next to it are physical, like the other pirate ships or cloud ships. Looks like they've been pulling up to the side of the wall and trying to grapple over the wall instead of getting in. So something has been dissuading them from moving into the dock.
Okay. And that was what should I look out for? So what am I looking out for? Just whatever's wrong with the dock?
Yes. So, yeah,
Okay.
actually, as you can pull off to the side, you do see that the captain makes a kind of a strafing maneuver. He'll going back to the side, and anytime the ship gets near, there is what looks like a giant wall of that pinkish energy just rises from the seabed itself, that just shoots up and solidifies for a second, but then goes away. And as you look down, and once you're passing by, you can actually see the boards of like I said, seabed, I meant the cloud bed. You can actually see bits and pieces of different parts of cloud ships, boardings, different engine pieces that are actually spilling over the different the clouds and before sinking further into the abyss. So the city seems to have protection. So, or at least that it's knowing that's going through it. So, if you're approaching it with a ship like this, more than likely you're probably not getting in.
Okay.
So it's figuring out another way, or possibly a way to trick that's like the wall, that ethereal wall, into letting you in.
And last one. What here is useful or valuable to me?
Let's see.
Gate key.
Yeah, gate key. Yep.
The big lever that turns off the force field. Anything like
that. You don't see anything. I will say that you can't really see anything else off of it. But you do notice that it's like when it's like once you're passing by, you see a piece of equipment floating up in the clouds. You ask the captain to grab it, and you see that it is actually a boost. It's like a small boost unit that would be used in cloud ships to increase the velocity. That's like for a short time. Think of it as a mystical version of a scramjet.
Yep. So you kind of boost up to get over the null field without plummeting.
Well, this one, it would basically, it's too small for the ship itself because it's very broken. But with a correct your abilities, you could modify it to your suit. So and use it as a one-time option. However, you will have to. That's like, in order to get your cabin mates over, you will have to accommodate them on your suit in some way to ride with you. So that's what you currently see at the moment.
Okay, so we've got this gadget, and we could see the suit's got gliding, so that'll help here.
Could I mean, just to make that a little easier, in my bag of tricks, maybe I have a little set of these sort of glass and metallic dragonfly wings, which could sort of I could sort of hook onto myself and my mount to sort of we could sort of run and jump over, and maybe you just have to worry about one person. And with my bag of tricks, maybe I could, if this is the plan, use my own curios to help me over the barrier.
That could be a possibility if you're wanting to try to cloud walk over that. So that would be there. I will let you know that will have to be a different roll for your side. So if you want to use that ability to get over it, you'll be rolling off to your side, off the side of what your mechanic is rolling.
Okay, so
Okay.
what is this, like a defy danger, or
this would actually
let me see that, or
this would absolutely be defy danger because you're trying to you know that if you try to get through this wall, it's basically just going to bisect the ship, or
Sure.
at the very least it's going to bounce you off, and that means you fall through the clouds into the under, and that's very bad.
Do we have a small boat that we could take? Like maybe it only stops larger vehicles or smaller vehicles?
Well, I mean, I can easily carry at least one person, right? So
you can try. Yes, you can carry one person. So you don't know if that would work or not, and I would actually say if you want to try that beforehand, that would be a parlay, and that you would have to do that with the captain in order to see if he would be willing to possibly sacrifice one of the smaller a offshore vessel in order to test this theory.
Right. Okay, I'm actually gonna talk with the gang here really quick.
Okay.
So guys, how are we gonna get into the city?
well, there's the widget we just hauled in. We just launch over there.
How exactly does that work? I mean, we'll just
I start drawing it,
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yep.
and then the
I'm
wings
looking-
pop out there,
I'm looking at
and-
Ramos the entire time, like, what is this guy?
and we'll just harness you down below me so you don't get
Mhm.
toasted. That'll be fine. What could go wrong?
Could I spout lore and use my catalog of strange and mysterious to see, like, okay, what the hell is this barrier? Like, just to sort of basically make sure that, like, hopping over it, if we have a little bit of height and we're just people-sized, is going to work? Would that be a reasonable roll?
Yes, I would say, and you can go if you want to use your lights. Take a charge off of that, and then that'll give a +1 to it.
Okay.
Can I help in any way?
For this assistance, unfortunately, no. So you'll just have to. If he has the ability, so it'll be make or break on that.
It's fine. I'm sure we'll be okay.
All right.
Nothing could go wrong with this. It's so
Yeah.
simple.
I rolled 2, like, lowest roll possibles in a row.
Oh wow. So that's only a 3 with that. So
A 4 because of my int, but 4 still isn't good enough.
unfortunately not. So yeah, this is an unknown variable. It's a possible good hypothesis, but you're not going to know if it actually works or not until you try. So
All
So
right.
here's my theory. I was thinking maybe we could take 2 boats, 2 off ship boats, and just kind of send one of them directly at the harbor and the other one with us directly at the wall, and then we can get to the wall, your beetle, your mech suit, and I could just walk up the wall, and we could all just kind of up and over.
okay. So all right. And as I said before, if that can be a possibility for that role, but in order to do that, you'll have to successfully parlay with the captain. So
So what do you guys think? What should we try first?
If you want to parlay, one of the cats wants in. I'll
I
step away and be right back.
no worries.
I think that sounds like a good plan, and obviously I know nothing mystical about it. I'm also good at parlaying. Maybe the captain seems to like me. Maybe I could ask him.
Okay,
All right.
yeah, go ahead.
Yep.
Can
Okay.
I help with my, like, how does aid or enter, how does help or hinder someone work?
Let's see.
Roll plus bond with them?
Yeah, that would be so that would be the plus bond in this case. So yes. So,
I
go
have
ahead.
1 bond.
Yep, you have 1 bond in there, so go ahead.
Hey Ramos, but you can't make the captain give us 2 boats.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so this is all right, I like that. Go ahead.
Okay, I fail.
All right. How much did you fail by?
I got a 4 and I needed a 10. I guess.
Okay. So yeah, that's off. So nope, that's not really convincing the captain right now, or Ramos is not really feeling as enthused about this. So that's a failure, but go ahead and make sure to mark off your XP. So
Okay.
But,
all right.
But
So yeah.
can I still do the parlay roll in the first place?
Absolutely. Yes, you can. It's just a base roll without the help of your crewmate.
Sure. Okay, I got an 8 because my cause 2.
8, excellent. So, all right, that is a success, but it does come with an issue. So, all right, so the captain looks at you and says, I really feel off about possibly putting one of the ships at risk because I think it's just sensing any kind of cloud tech as it's going through, since that's what still propels it forward. So I am going to allow this, but that means that whatever you find, that means that ultimately you will have to give up. If I do this though, you are going to have to give at least go with a month without a month without pay, because I will provide your board as necessary, but it's like if there's any damages done to the ship, that will be coming completely out with you. So I need that just as the insurance. If you bring it back, it's fine, but if not, I will immediately be taking that out of whatever you recover from that island.
So I say something like, that sounds totally fair, understanding that like in my bag of curios, I could probably finagle whatever I need. And like a month of pay, I'll be okay. So I'm like, you drive a hard bargain, but yes, all right, that does seem acceptable to me.
He'll like it on there, but in this case, it's going to be, if you're going on your other journeys, you're gonna be kind of scraping to eat, if not just basic rations at some point. So it's gonna suck pretty hard for you. So
fair enough.
Alrighty, but you do have your 2 boats. So one of those that could be brought up as as the distraction, and the other one bringing the launching point if it's absolutely necessary. So,
and these are like small little rowboats, right?
Yeah, essentially they think of them as kind of like small winged rowboats on there. They do have it's like engines that propel them forward throughout the clouds, but they are but it does still have the general cloud tech too, which if this is what's activating the defenses, that might be the problem.
Okay.
So, all right, and let's see. All right, Maxwell, you're back?
Yep.
Okay, they did succeed with a complication on there. So basically, it's more on the personal one. So if you don't go through it, any profits you make on there will not be your own. So as cost for the fact that you possibly destroyed one of the ships.
One of the dinghies.
One of the dinghies. Yep. So, but you do have 2. So here's where
try not to destroy either one then.
It would probably best not to if you can. So, although you do know the captain will accept certain, it's like if you can find something equivalent to do it, but again, that will make life hard for you. So,
I'm unclear on the logic of why we need both, especially if it costs us money.
That's true, but you do have the 2 boats, so you can use this to test the hypothesis against the wall itself.
I mean, see if we can send one over the wall.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
we're gonna send 2 at the same time to the island, and then the barrier will go up by the 1, which is the distraction, and then at the same time we'll be in the other boat and climbing up the wall.
Okay. So
I thought we were going to launch over the wall was the whole plan.
Oh, let's take the 2 boats in reserve then. But if we launch ourselves over the wall, what if we miss?
Well, that would be disappointing, but I have gliding. I'll be able to land this safely.
Yep. And let's see, for a situation. So since you're going through it, I will say, Maxwell, you can do one more discern reality.
Okay. Or would let me see that be more appropriate for this?
Let me see that.
Which is a class thing.
Is it part of your class right now? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, when you take a few moments to handle or examine something interesting, like say a barrier, but I'm technically not touching it, so.
All right. You know what? I will still allow that. So go ahead.
So that is, I guess, plus int, because it doesn't say.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh boy, 5. I have no idea.
All right. So yeah, you have no idea on that. Although I will let you know for free that if it's like because of the previous roles that you've had in that, you can't really tell, but you do have the hypothesis that maybe if you do use one of the boats as a distraction, the other one could be the launching off point where you could either get it through quickly and dock it in there, or you will be able, that's like, or you could just use that as the temporary launch point and try to get over as the barrier is coming down. Basically, catch it in that in between, in that state of deactivation before it can have time to recharge.
And another thing, guys, we can sort of treat this like one of those little libraries. You know, take a book, leave a book. Maybe we'll mess up one ship, but remember, there's a whole bunch of ancient technology here. We can replace it. Even
I have this handy bag of books I have not used.
Oh my god. Oh, okay. Okay, Daniel, take an XP for that.
Okay.
I like that. So.
All right. Well, let's just go with this.
Okay. So what is the full plan now?
Yeah. Let's.
I think the full plan is the kamikaze decoy with us going in on the other ship. Is it more complicated than that, or is that pretty much what we're?
How are we going to move the other ship? And are we using the thrust assist thing or not so much?
I maybe we just let the other ship go in at a normal speed, and then sort of in the moment when the shield's activated over there, we use the thrust thing to get us through as fast as possible.
Yeah, so it looks like the shields go up and then down, and then so right when they go down, we should be able to
pop over.
Pop on over. Yeah.
Now, are we popping over the wall, or are we popping over to the harbor?
Let's shoot for where the barrier goes down. So 2 boats in the same spot.
Yep. So that would be going through into the harbor.
Okay, let's do that thing then.
Okay. So all right. So this will just be determining right now. You know what's going to go through. So this will just determine if and when you'll take damage. So the so Maxwell first. I am going to go ahead and say this is defying danger with quick thinking.
Okay.
So because you're trying,
that would be what I was about to argue.
So this will be for I will say
6.
6. All right.
Oh, hey, would bag of books help on this?
That would actually do. I will say that yes, that will actually help if you do take 1 charge off of it.
I will do so. That gets me to a 7, right?
That will get you to a 7. So, but this is basically to get the boat into position so it will drop the barrier. So, because it did 7, it will go ahead and do that, and that means that you do not take any additional damage. You will not take any additional damage if you have an issue with your defy roll for getting everybody else over. But I will say there will be another issue that you have to deal with, but we'll worry about that in a second. So everybody else is going to go through. So we're going to start off with first. That's like first off this. So let's see, Ramos. So that's like you said. Oh, sorry. In this case, so Ramos, are you holding on to Maxwell's suit as he's jumping over?
I thought we were in a dinghy.
Oh, you're in the other dinghy. Okay. So, you're just gonna go. You're gonna go through.
That was the whole plan. I thought it was like we launch one and we zap through with the other when it drops.
Oh, the zap through. Okay, yeah. So, all right, you do have that though. Alrighty. Let's see. So, in this case, all right. So. Yeah, Maxwell got that through there. So I will allow a roll for defying danger either through dexterity, or that's like through a temporary piloting one, to try to get through there without any base damage occurring as the wall comes up, or basically destroying the other dinghy as it comes through.
Sure. Okay. So I should just roll defy danger roll.
Yep, defy danger through dexterity.
Okay. All right, that's an 8 because I have. So that's so I guess I do okay.
All right, you did okay. So, all right, so that is enough to get that through there. You end up racing through the barrier itself. As it's going down. You end up miscalculating a little bit. So, as you're going through, that's like you do not suffer any actual it's like physical damage. However, everybody else on the boat, go ahead and mark off 1 stress.
Okay, so where would we mark that off of?
That should be lower on the.
I see hit points. I've got damage for my suit, or stress boxes for the suit, I guess.
So let's see, where is it? There should be mental stress options here. Together damage.
Oh, also I've got
suit.
armor, so I don't know if that
Yeah,
matters.
you do have armor too, so this is just a mental stress on there. So, I thought that was on there. Okay, well, don't worry about that at the moment. That'll just be a negative. But basically, what happens is that you jump over it. You manage to do it. But as you're going through, the barrier does. You don't quite clear it as far as you need to, and it's like ends up severing the half end of the. That's like the cloud engine as you're going through in one of your wings. So you end up skidding into the harbor itself as the barrier goes back up. You are safe, but unless you can pull something out, maybe with older technology, you're down one ship, and the other dinghy is heavily damaged.
Okay,
So,
guys, this is, I dare all of us to get a lot of loot on this trip.
Yeah. So this is going to be problematic. But as you're saying, but congratulations, you have managed to get into the city proper itself. So as
Awesome.
let's just slide down, and as you're going through, you notice that something that the barrier was actually muffling, or you didn't see about it, is now just almost deafening as you're hearing that upbeat, joyful music just echoing all around you.
So
And
malfunction of the elevator? Is it a malfunction of the elevator? It just turned up.
Not that we know of. So
okay, good.
So no, this is just, but it actually seems like a live music that's going through it. But as you're going through, you see that there are figures that are all along the side of the dock that you could not see before on the outside. You're not certain if the barrier itself was blocking that, or if just because the way that you couldn't see through the color, because as you look through it, you actually didn't notice it. You're starting to see the larger ethereal ships that were out, and all sorts of figures that are in the same vein of that very pinkish looking energy, and they seem to be dancing on the docks just joyously.
Could I use curiosity to sort of definitely get close enough to them to sort of look at them, hence putting myself in danger to see, like this is neat, and I like, magical knowledge and stuff. Can I sort of like say, hey guys, what's up? Sort of stupidly Naruto run into the potential danger to potentially get some info about them, whether or not they're harmless.
Well, I would say in this case, part of that is you could do that as a defy danger, basic if you think it's an imminent threat, but you don't really know what it is yet. It looks weird, but you if you go into there, it's going to be defy danger, but you don't know what's going to absolutely happen.
Okay.
So,
well, just because on my character sheet there's the like I would argue that, like, though maybe there is no risk, I am putting myself potentially at risk.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, if you want to, because that's about the time where I say you were able to go ahead and slide into the. It's like you slide into one of the other piers that's off to the side, and now you have full view of everybody else. And yes, these look like very humanoid figures that are just clad or made up of this pinkish energy, joyously dancing around the dock. So, yep, you can jump right into that if you want to. And everybody else, I will say that we'll plan for you to go ahead and do that. Max or Ramos, or what are you doing?
Observing.
All right. All right, so you're going to be that could be a discern reality specifically,
Okay.
and if you want to, and going through, click. Are you going to do anything?
Yeah, I want to investigate evidence. I want to find some earmuffs for the music.
Oh, you're wanting to find earmuffs for the music.
Yeah, it's too loud.
Oh, hey, that's a good point. I've got a covered cockpit. Does that reduce the?
Yes, that actually would. It's like that does that nullified a little bit. It's not hurting you, but
Yep.
it's again
Distracting.
it's a bit of a beat on there too. So yeah, I will say, is there click? Is there a specific ability that you're wanting to utilize for that?
Investigate evidence.
Investigate evidence. So oh yes. So for the custom move right there. All right. Yeah, you can go ahead and do that. So go ahead. You two go ahead and make your discern realities check. We'll get right back to you in a moment. Ramos.
Okay.
I just assume you're running right into them, correct? All right.
Yeah, well, I mean, clamoring on my Magitech beetle, but yes.
All right.
That would be a 12.
12. Damn. So all right. So doing that, and all right. And what's the other roll? So for the investigative evidence.
Yeah, I got a 5. I'm getting new dice.
5. Okay, so yeah, you're not really sure about anything else other than the beats going through. So, all right. So before we get to the discern realities, go ahead and make your defy danger roll,
Who?
Ramos. Let's see what you get.
Okay.
Okay. So, by the way, I did do that and I rolled and I got a 3 plus my lore is 2, so I got a 5.
Okay, so that's still a failure. So
Yes, it is.
all right. So yeah, what you're gonna see is that once you go in through it, you notice that nobody else, everybody else is pretty happy going through. It's like you're wondering what's about to happen, but then what looks like a woman just grabs your arms, starts spinning you around, and you feel the absolute want to start dancing just as much as possible. You cannot be happier than you can, laughing and then moving around. So that's where you're going to be for a while.
Okay.
So are the Fae a thing in this universe?
So no, this is different.
Well, they weren't.
Yeah. This is different from here. So, all right. But yeah, you got another great roll in discern reality. So what are your 3 questions?
Well, so let's see here. Who's really in control here?
So as you look around, you're seeing it's like you're just seeing the throng everybody else in. You look up, and near the end of the dock where it looks like there's a path or stairwell going up into the city,
Mhm.
You thought this was just a lighthouse, but at the top of it, you see that there seems to be some sort of collector or just or beacon that's at the top of it that's pulsating in beat with the steps of the spirits that are on this dock at this moment. And as you keep looking back before, that's beating in time. That's with their steps as they keep going through.
Okay. Well, since we need to pay for the dinghy, what here is useful or valuable to me?
Okay. For that, you do see actually, as you're going, you kind of are looking out to the docks as well. You do see that there are other earmuffs that you didn't see before, that were just left on off to the side. So that will be
So we can
helpful
pop those
to it.
onto. Who was in there? Ramos?
You can do Ramos, and also with you're protected, so you have 2 other ones for your
Well, I thought someone.
crewmates.
Okay, one of them. Did no one get earmuffs?
I
No,
I
there
looked around and
you
failed.
failed for it. So
Oh,
but
okay.
yeah, you
So,
do
yeah.
find 2 of those, but you
I
do
nudge him and point.
yeah, but it's more the headphone sets, but you do actually see that they do have markings on them, particularly for looks like the crew of the Windblade.
Fantastic.
So looks like they're already here, but they might be somewhere in the crowd. You have no idea.
Okay. Do, 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 do.
So yep,
I'm,
one
I'm
question
looking
left.
around and I find some like lint and I'm like, awesome. I try to like shove it in my ear canal and then I see the the earmuffs and I
Well-
kind of like walk over there and since he pointed them out to me, I put them on.
Well,
Yeah.
you try to walk around. So we'll get back right to you in a second. So
Okay,
'cause we're
so
gonna-
third question.
Yeah, third question. We'll get back to you.
What is about to happen?
Let's see what is about to happen. You do see that the steps of this. You didn't think about it before, but you do see that the steps are becoming a lot more quick. With it's like with the spirit people and the beat, it looks like it's coming up to a crescendo, at least within the music of something, and you're not really sure what's going to happen the minute it does that. So
But
it might be
something's going to happen, is my gut feel.
it might be a good idea to try to get up to that that lighthouse or that beacon and see what's going on.
Okay.
So
Plus, what does it mean when it says either way, take +1 forward when acting on the answers?
that means that if you're making an action with Defiance
Got it.
Defiance Danger, you get a +1 on that too because you have more information. So
So
in this
it
case,
looks,
if you're trying to stop that, yeah.
looks like we need to go and deal with the whole Pulsey Lighthouse thing to stop this.
All right.
So Click is dancing. Ramos has earmuffs now.
Yep. So yeah, you were able to do that. So that's taken care of. Your suit has the closed cockpit. Back over to back over to Click. So you are just Ramos, you're just completely dancing, and outside you realize that something's wrong. You are really getting tired because they seem to be increasing the tempo in which you're dancing around. So I will give you, if you're trying to power through this, because your legs don't feel like they're in control. You see that your cohorts are trying to come through and seem to have an earmuffs for you. So if you want to try to stop yourself to make it easier for them, you can power through and defy danger. Otherwise, you're going to take damage. You're going to take some damage right now for trying to basically wrench your muscles out of position.
I guess I'll sort of I'll do the defy danger to try to, like, keep up with it until the earmuffs can be put on me.
Okay, so that will just give a bonus to what they need to do. Or if you, I will say, there's another way too. So you can try to you can power through it, but stop yourself. Or you can, if you have a high enough wisdom, you can try to break through with mental fortitude, trying to will yourself to stop long enough to get help.
Let's, is there... I mean, dancing's sort of dexterous. Can I sort of say that I'm sort of like getting into it, or sort of acting quickly by holding up with it, and sort of use dex and sort of keeping up with the steps?
So you kind of lean into the dance too,
but
then try and maneuver.
Yeah, no, absolutely, that's a good one. So make your roll.
Okay, that is a 7.
7. All right. So you do have a cop. All right. So that does work. You actually do manage to take charge of the dance as you're going through. So I will say that in this turn, you will be able to get near your crewmates, but there is one issue that you're taking along your spirit partner with you. So she's kind of dancing around. So and she's not really that happy. So in the next, you're going to have one more roll to make before to disengage, essentially.
Okay.
Before she's there. So I'm actually going to say that this. So if it's going to happen, this will be a power through. So you got to basically disengage through it. So if you make it, there's no problem. That's like there should be no problem. If not, you are going to take damage.
Could I use wealth and taste and take a little sort of valuable little steampunky toy that also sort of does a little dance out of my bag and sort of toss it and maybe distract her with it? The wealth and taste is when you make a show of flashing around a valuable possession, choose an NPC present. They will do anything they can to obtain your item or one like it. Would that be doable, or does that not really apply here?
I am make one. I'm going to say make a roll. Just roll one dice, odd or even.
Okay. I will go for even.
Okay.
2.
All right. Yep. You can give it a shot.
Okay. I do the thing.
Okay. So let me take. Does that say if that's on your character sheet? Is that an automatic reaction, or is it making you roll?
It's the wording is, I mean, I think it's more up to you. Choose an NPC present. They will do anything they can to obtain your item or one like it.
Okay, so all right, I will say that in this case, that's not a roll. You do manage to disengage. That it's shiny enough, although that is lost now for the rest of the game.
Sure.
So that you see that she looks at it and just starts it's like immediately twirling after it. So you have disengaged, and that's enough time for your crewmates to put the earmuffs on, and you suddenly feel much more control of your body.
Oof.
So,
well, that was weird.
Yep. So you do have that there. All right. All right. So you're back on the dock right now. You do see the tempo is going up. The thing is, the crowd, despite the fact that these are absolutely spirits, you're right about that. They do seem. That's like it's very hard to get through them. They have a physicality to them that's very difficult to get through. So how are you going to try to get through the crowd and up to the beacon?
All right, I got this.
Okay.
I'm going to use on a mirror's edge and free run around, over, and through any of these obstacles or enemies.
Okay. So you're going to free run. All right. Go hold on for a second. There. All right. Dan, what are you doing?
To get through the spirit.
Yeah.
I will just, if they've got enough physicality, I'll just kind of leap up on top of them and kind of glide away.
All right. So just kind of
go over the top.
Power jump there. Okay. All right. And then Ramos, what are you doing?
There's no real obvious choice for me. I do have sort of my beetle mount. I guess I could just kind of try to trudge through and hope that even though they have some physicality between shoving out of the way and just sort of, jumping as best I can, maybe I can just kind of brute force it.
Brute force that one. So, okay. So basically part of this is going to be, if you're doing, since you're going to try to do this right now, this is getting out without any damage, or at least turning the tide of the dance against you. So this is working through that collectively. So everybody go, I will say this is absolutely defying danger. So,
Okay.
So would you say that this is more strength or more dex? Because I guess I'm sort of trying to dodge around them.
I would say if in your particular abilities, that would be dex. So,
okay. All right.
And as opposed to the other two, which are probably going to be more. I'll say with the mech suit, that's probably going to be a dex unless you're.
Nope. That's what I was figuring.
Yep, a dex right now, and then if you're going to ride through there, because you said you had a beetle mount.
Yes.
So, okay. All right. I will allow that. That's probably going to. I will say that's a dex one, just because you're trying to ride through there. So go ahead and make your rolls.
Sure.
Yeah. That doesn't work.
All right.
I mean, if you give me a gear option that can be a vehicle or mount, I will often take it. I promise you that.
Alrighty.
I got a 9, by the way.
9. Okay.
8 doesn't, no difference, but yeah, I got 8. Yes.
Okay. All right. So in this case, Maxwell's the only one who failed. Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I will unlimber assault charge and just clear a path.
Okay. Well, you still So yeah, you pulled through there. So the other two, you do make it through, but it does sting a bit right now as you're kind of being hustled back and forth. So go ahead and take a hit point each.
All right. Mirror's Edge. I got an 8.
An 8.
6 plus 2, so I can hold 2, and that is leap around, over, and through an enemy in your path, and avoid or knock aside an enemy attack and keep moving.
Okay, so yeah, I'll say that you were able to go ahead and do that. So that clears off a little bit of a path for Maxwell. So since you're able to get through, so but otherwise, yeah. So that's going to reduce the difficulty for him the next turn. I'll say Max, that will give you a +1 to your next roll. So
okay,
since that helped out, but yeah, you two already make sure to take off a hit point for that since it did get screwed. But you're up on this going towards the stairwell now. All right, and Max, you can make your next roll.
Okay, so if I deploy assault charge, would that clear a pathway, so I can just kind of saunter through?
Let's see. Let me take a look. Get off the captain. Let's see where the mechanic is again. And you said you're checking off the assault charge.
No, I said a salt charge, the spirit salt defense thing.
Oh, the salt charge. Oh, yes, absolutely. So yeah,
charge.
Actually,
so
yes.
I will use one of those.
Absolutely, yes. Sorry, my apologies. Yep, you pinch that, and they immediately clear. It's actually, and it's not even a negative way too. That basically, like, you hit it, and then they kind of step aside and are looking at you. So
I shrug and walk through.
Yeah, they're a little bit confused, but it's not in a negative way too that you create your path. So yes, absolutely.
Right, so since I did that, I don't need to roll.
You do not need to roll. You're good.
Fantastic.
So, all right. So,
and also that gives us a path from the city down to the docks, should we need it.
Yes, so you do.
It doesn't look like they're going to move that.
Nope, you're good. So you do, yeah, that path right now, you actually see that they are still dancing around them. So,
so Maxwell, in his robo power suit, using the holy salt, has committed an assault and battery on his way through the crowd.
I committed assault using a battery. That is absolutely.
I don't want to take away experience. Please don't do that again. All right, but yeah, so you do have a clear path going towards that's like the town square essentially. So off from the docks, but you see it splits off towards the lighthouse / beacon, where you're seeing the lights going through there. Were you going to go and investigate that, or just head straight into the town?
Actually, I have a question. Wasn't there something where if you fail miserably, don't you get experience?
Yeah, well, actually, every time you fail, you get experience. So if you've been failing, that's why I've been asking you to mark off experience.
I did not hear that. So
okay, I'm sorry.
I know there were at least 2 fails in there for me.
Yeah. So yeah, go ahead and mark those down, because once you reach 10, that will actually be a level, and then you can gain access to another ability. So
sorry about that. All right.
Oh no, it's fine. So All right. So in consensus, are you going up to the lighthouse, or are you just proceeding into town?
I think we should hit the lighthouse first.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I mean, I certainly think we need to get some gear at some point here, but the lighthouse, we should probably deal with that. And hey, maybe there'll be gear in the lighthouse.
All right. Yep, you do head up there. So it's a pretty large ascent for the most part. But once you get there, you do notice that the lighthouse itself, or that beacon that you're seeing, doesn't actually have a normal, what we would just a normal flame or any other power source that you would see within Envels. It seems to be that's like a free floating that's like crystal of some sort that's feeding out with the energy. And in between that, at the base of it, which looks over some sort of, cantern or urn, there seems to be, there are three figures that you see. Two of them are more humanish figures that are lying off unconscious to the side. In the middle of it, there seems to be a shorter being. It's like probably about 3.5 to 4 feet tall, facing the crystal with its hands outstretched, just intently concentrating on it. You can, and also it seems like there's hair, but it kind of looks like he might also have horns too, just tinier horns that are sticking up from it.
That's
But
totally normal.
Yeah, but seems to be repeating some phrase back to himself, desperately trying to kind of. There's some amount of desperation in his voice, but he does not notice you coming in.
Fantastic. Okay, so I just reread my "Let me see that" move. There is no roll. When you take a few moments to handle or examine something interesting, I get 2 questions.
Oh, okay. No worries then. So, my apologies.
So, nope, I misread it. So, while I'm observing how he is working with the crystal or not, or being attracted to it,
Okay.
I'm going to have to go with what does this do, and then what's wrong with it, and how can I fix it? In
Okay.
other words, how can I fix it by turning it off, from my point of view?
Alrighty.
Not how to make it work better.
Alrighty. So, what you can see, because so you're asking what it does.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, is he interacting with it? Is he doing something with it, or is it attracting him in?
He is absolutely interacting with it, and even though this is obviously a mystical energy source as compared to one of the more mechanical ones that you're used to for your suit in the cloud ship, it almost looks like he's trying to control a reaction or trying to slow something down. So obviously, as the beats are coming faster, it seems like that's something he does not want to happen.
Okay, so he seems to be trying to shut it down. So there we go. So what is wrong with it, and how do I fix it? How do I help him shut it down?
Okay. As far as you can tell, the collector at the bottom right now, you can as you're going around, you see that there are specific runes that have been scratched into it. It looks like it's like the energy that's being pulled from right now is being siphoned off too quickly, essentially, which is causing the upbeat in the tempo. So he's trying to finding a way to basically slow that down in a way
like an insulator.
Yeah, an insulator or a beat right now, or something to basically take down the beat in this case. And I will say that the one thing that comes to your mind is that if you're going back into musical thoughts, that it's like a metronome that's going too fast. If you could figure out a way to slow down the metronome in a way that's like decrease the beat, that's like the beats per minute, then that might be able to actually help out him control this more effectively.
Okay. So you said that the crystal is draining into runes that are on the floor?
It's basically runes around the urn that is right underneath this crystal that is floating.
And it's draining the crystal faster than it should, which is causing the crystal to pulse faster than it should.
Yeah, it's basically
leading to possibly a chain reaction.
Yeah, it looked like it's pulling energy.
And that's spirit energy that's going through there?
As far as you can tell. So again, it's not your
medium. If it looks like a spirit thing, it looks like something to put salt on.
All right, so you're trying to see if you could put the salt on there.
I'll just moisten it up a little bit and smack it over the runes.
All right, so
that'll be fine.
All right, so
I'll walk up to the guy and talk to him.
So all right.
No.
So I will say that in this one, so you're going to go ahead and decide to do that. So you were going to go ahead and try to talk to the the person that's in front of the urn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Without trying to break concentration.
All right, but I will say this is an observation. You do walk him up, and you see that his eyes are closed. He's just constantly chanting to himself. He's not going to respond to you at all. So I wouldn't even worry about that. So you're going through. All right, but we'll say that you're trying to do that, and then click. Are you trying to do anything beforehand?
Oh yeah. So if I go up to him and I see that he's not responding, then I'll look at the bodies that are off to the side.
Okay. Yep. You take a look at those. From there. This will not take anything as well since you've seen the mark before. But these are rougher travel skaters. Basically, these are guys. These are obviously crew members from the Windblade. So probably the ones that you had there took their earmuffs from.
Okay, I'm gonna loot them.
Right. I will say that so basically you don't need any roll for that. If you want to discern reality.
Sure.
For that, so you can make a roll after we finish this up. So,
okay, discern realities plus wisdom.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure wisdom is my negative stat.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so just 6.
Just 6. All right. Yep. That's a failure. Make sure to mark off an XP. So you don't know anything at this point, but
level 2 in no time.
Yeah, but you do notice. I will say the one for free is that they don't have any kind of physical damage on it. It looks like they've just passed out and they are breathing.
Oh,
so
probably from dancing.
Yep. One thing you do notice that it's a little bit weird though. They do seem to be tapping their feet. They are almost unconscious, but their feet are still tapping. So, all right. But bringing that up, Maxwell, you managed to take one charge. You go around and put your consecrated salt, lining it within the it's like the grooves of the urn, and as it's like as magic itself, you see the pulse of the crystal start slowing down further and further and further until it's just one solid color. So that's softly glowing, and as you do that, you can hear multitudes of voices coming down from below you in the dock. And if you look over the side, you immediately see that there are groups. The group of the spirits that are down there start looking at each other, discussing and moving about as though nothing happened. So, and are starting
like I
to
reset them.
The dock. Yeah, a little bit from that. And
they're
to move
not
on
getting
from the day.
angry and coming up here.
So, and it's about that time the smaller impish person in front of you kind of breaks and goes, "Oh God, what happened? What's going on?
Yeah.
Who are you?
We're the ones that saved you. So what happened and what's going on?" It's an excellent question.
Oh, so let me catch my breath. You see, he takes out a flask, and as you look over from it, you're looking at this guy. He is obviously not human or any of the other races that you seem familiar with. He seems to be in a it's like gilded coat that goes down. That's like very with ruffled collars off to the side. It's very small spectacles that are perched on the end of his nose, just taking through. And he would almost look like a child, except for the age on the face and the eyes behind it seeming far more wisdom.
Could I do a spout lore to have some idea of where he's from or what he does?
Absolutely. Go ahead and make that roll.
Would my catalog of strange and mysterious knowledge help me?
Absolutely. Go ahead and you can add those for the +1. So.
All right. 2d6. No, that's if you write 2. Yeah, sorry. All right, so that is altogether an 8.
And 8, excellent. So, for this, So for this information right now, for it, so you've heard rumors about these characters. But mainly it's just a discussion with the Echomancers. So, and to bring up, Echomancers are a type of spellcaster that specifically works with spirits. They are different from necromancers as they do not resurrect the dead, but they basically call on spiritual memories, things that are left behind when people die as forms of energy. So, and in turn, a lot of the cases they're actually looked off as something of a positive force with it. that they actually can communicate with certain aspects of the dead that have been gone to give peace to others who are still within the living world. And most echomancers, that's like you've heard the rumors about it, usually have a familiar, basically a guide. That's like a guide that will actually help them to find the people. That's like lost spirits that they are need to be able to put to rest. So, and if you're having a guess right now, this is probably the familiar of the person of the echomancer that you're looking for, or that's been rumored.
Okay, I nudge Click and I say, I think this is the Echomancer's familiar.
So, and as you say that, he looks up. I do have a name, thank you.
Hi, Click. Nice to meet you.
So, morons. Reginald. That's like Reginald Van Compton. How are you? So, that's like I assume you were. That's like coming right here to look for other treasures like these two as well.
Seeing that they're knocked out, I'll be like, no, no, not treasure. No, we're just concerned citizens. We came by. We saw that there was something going on, some music, and just trying to see what all that's about.
So yes, just the music. You see air quotes go up.
Yeah.
Oh God, I haven't. That's like I wish
It's a
I
third
could.
level spell.
Yeah, which I wish I could part onto you the point. That's like everybody that the only things to be gained here right now. That's like are causing more issues. That's harm than good otherwise. With that's like there's a reason why we put the spell up to block anybody else out. This beliefs that's like experiment is going out of hand, and I can only barely control it myself. So it's like, but I that's like I'm not certain what to do next. It's going. That's like I his time he's become too far. The area has become too unstable, and I'm afraid it's about to harm everything else outside of the barriers of the city.
Well, what can we do to help?
Yeah.
So, in any case, what do you? That's like what do you know about echomancy?
So you speak to souls, kind of like necromancy, but you're talking to the spirits.
In a way, yes. So that is something in turn. It's more or less to provide an exit or that's like or allies if necessary. But that's like usually this is one instance where it is very much dependent on the spiritual energy of a place, which can go from middling to high depending on the areas. This place itself, when we first came here, is like a reactor. It is like it's like a raging fire that has never ceased to be. And when we came here 3 years ago, that's like defeating the one. That's like the girl who was basically defeating the entity that girl became. That's like due to her uncle's machinations. Basically, was like uncorking. That's like uncorking a bottle. Everything kept pouring out, and we've been basically doing what we could to contain it so it doesn't become an issue for the. That's like for Hephaestus's Link.
Well, thank you, but yeah, how can we help you out?
We have a theory that ultimately that's like the combined essences that have been living in this city that's like for generations may in fact be trying to come back to life. So
Is
in a sense,
is that something that can happen?
it's unprecedented is what it is. And we've been that's like but Philippe, who is my friend, feels that the memories here could go on to live in some other way, but we don't know what the actual effect is. But of course, like he bound it out on his own, figuring out ways to do that. And like an idiot, I decided to help him. It's like help him make his choice, creating these focal points. But something is causing them to overcharge, specifically every single turn. I do not know whether it's the people trying to get in here and the city trying to defend itself as an entity or something else. If I could figure out a way to be able to sink them there, we might be able to do this because I cannot leave this place without Philippe, and he is currently in the square, basically at the town. That's like at the nexus point of everything. If I could get you to be able to go to each, that's like to the areas, that's like where we've set up our focal points and may stabilize them, which amazingly enough, that salt that you that's like brought seems to be doing the trick. Then we might have a chance to be able to pull him out before this place emerges.
Well, there's enough for 2 more operations like that one.
Yeah, and the problem is and that problem is we have 4 other areas that might be able. That's like 3 others that would need to be consecrated before we do that. Though I may know of an area where you might be able to get more, but you would have to take me there personally.
Can't we just disable these focal points? These are something that was added to the city.
Yes, we.
And
did
they're the
that.
things that are going wrong. So
The problem is that if you do by doing that, that may very well kill Philippe. And as in a matter of self-preservation, I am inexorably linked to him. He goes, I go.
So if we do that, we shouldn't tell you. Got it. That was out loud unintentionally by him, as you're used to him doing that.
He just stares at you.
How did the city rise up from where it was before to now?
So I'm. So wait, question right now. Are you talking about where it came from originally, or
where was it directly before it went bloop? I'm out in the open.
Yeah.
Oh, so unfortunately, that is a mystery. So that's like there are many things that are that are hidden in the in the undercloud. So other civilizations that that existed far beyond ours or before Solus's light hit them. So we do suspect right now that it might have been a larger portion of an empire, but again, even 3 years in a city, talking to the memories of dead spirits, we only could glean so many things from them. In particular, though, that this area seems to be it was a harbor, something something of a cultural it's a cultural hub for others to come and learn about other civilizations. So, if nothing else, that might be more of a positive aspect.
Okay.
Okay, and so one more time. So these pulsy things, beacons, you're trying to bring the spirits into some sort of manifestation where they can exist.
That is the plan. My personal goal right now is to be able to stabilize them so I can pull Philippe, or at least convince him to abandon this plan if he decides to kill himself with it. But if he's going to go through with it, it would be within all of our interest to be able to make certain that he is. Make certain that he's successful, or in any way possible, so we can. We can continue. The biggest problem with this is that we have anybody who walks in there is dealing with energies that they don't understand. And what these 2 did, pointing towards the Windblade crew, was try to dislodge the crystal, which caused the chain reaction.
Okay.
Because they're searching riches.
So when the crystal stops wobbling, does that mean we don't need the salt there and we can reuse it elsewhere?
So I don't know if that was a stabilizing agent, and I don't know if you could do that or not. I will say that if you want to if you would like to collect it, let's see. In basic moves, I'm going to actually say that's going to be a spout lore, because you're going to have to actually be able to figure out what that is.
Well, or alternatively, I could figure out where the runes went wrong that made it so touchy.
True, and that is a part of a mystical one. So I would actually have to say, if you're going to do that, that's going to be you're definitely going to have to get an aid check if you're doing this right now. If not, you're going to have to find a place where you can get that information in the city. So you can try it right now, but there might be consequences because of it.
Yeah, let's not muck with it right now. That's something to keep in mind.
So, but Philippe, it's like, but the excuse me, Reginald, he stands back up and actually pulls out a map for you. We've been here for 3 years, so we've been able to actually figure out the most of the areas that would be useful to everybody else. He shows you that you are on the southmost side of the island. The stairwells that you're on were leading directly into the town square. So that it seems to be more bustling there. Off to the side, there seems to be, out of the residential areas, there seems to be 2 other places that he's taken. One of those is the core gateway that leads almost into the city, but it seems to be it's far to the north, but it seems to be part of a main entryway that most people would come through, and looks like it leads off to a palace. And the last one is the town hall and records. So there seems to be more information there, as well as listings for different that's like storehouses for either technology or different bases for things. So you have several areas that you can go into, although he does state that each of these areas right now is still possibly under still has particular dangers with other groups that have come in. As he mentions that the Windblades, or the other stupid humans that decided to come in through, were a group of about 15 and are still wandering through. So they could be a problem for you if need be.
Well, if before we can help, we're going to need some supplies to repair our dinghy to get back to our ship. So the town hall records place might be a good place for us to start.
Okay.
We can go there. And
Hang on a minute. If we help fix this, that means you can drop the shields that are around the place.
Well, again, those are all in. That's linked in with Philippe, who is currently inaccessible to me.
So, but basically, if we save Philippe, then the ship can just dock normally.
That would be true. So
okay, so let's go fix Philippe.
All right. So he will do that. So Reginald states that he is going. He will be able to go through. So, all right. I'm going to go ahead and take a small bathroom break for a second, but you guys can slow down and talk about where you would like to go and where you would like to take things. Okay.
Sure.
So, all right. Be right back.
I mean, we can always do a little bit of, saving Philippe or what have you, but I don't see any reason against learning a little bit about where the technology might be hidden. Maybe it's right near some of these notes we have to show.
Oh, I don't disagree. I was just pointing out that we don't need to worry about the dinghy. We've got a way off the island. It's simply fixing the problem, which is technically the assignment in the first place.
Point of order, our pocketbooks care about the dinghy.
Yeah, I was hoping that we could get some loot.
Well, yes, that's the point. We don't need to repair the dinghy. We just need to find adequate loot.
Yes. So
that was my cover story, because I told him that we weren't looking for loot, because I thought he blasted those 2 guys who were looking for loot. But
yeah. I haven't used any charges off the energy cannon. It's all fine.
Yeah.
This will go fine.
I'll be honest, I'm a little concerned with this Philippe's power to, raise the dead and create an existence threat, but we'll...
Yeah, it seems odd to me. It's like, shouldn't you be finding a way to funnel them off to the afterlife, not raising them?
Yeah. If it were up to me, I would sink this entire city.
Oh, yeah. No.
Also that, after we get the valuable objects out. So maybe the records hall first to figure out where the best place to go is after we look at that?
Yes. Leave the Windblades here. Take the valuables. Sink the island.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good with all those things.
Save Philippe somewhere in there.
Yeah, well, we need to... I don't know. I'm not so sure about the sinking the island, because we need a way off it. So, yeah.
I mean, there's a middle ground between sinking the island. What is an Echomancer who's going to raise the dead, but a
necromancer?
Yeah, that guy's bad.
Not good.
Yeah. Something under our hat.
I'm sure in his mind, if they can be saved, then they're not really dead, but...
No, that's a possibility. So maybe they're not spirits of the dead. They're just spirits trapped in an alternate form.
Well, fair enough, but yeah.
But I think we need to find out what he was, how he was trying to do it, figure out where he went wrong, and fix it. Because the obvious solution of just blowing his head off doesn't seem to be the one that's favored. So.
We need to get off the island.
Well, that will get us off the island. He's the one holding the shields up.
Right.
All right, I'm back. So, what decision have we come to?
we discussed
Records hall.
Record hall. Okay.
Is that right, guys?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Okay. And everybody is going in from there, and they're not splitting off.
Oh no.
Okay. So, alrighty then. So, all right. So original to go ahead and states that he will go ahead along with you. So,
Yep.
working from that, as you.
It's weird the way I'm always behind him. Strange. It's almost like I exactly have the energy, attachment pointed in his general direction, but not obviously. So weird. Anyway, we move on.
So he does take again. There's a side glance from behind his spectacles, but he doesn't really seem to be that bothered by it.
When I notice him doing that, I just shrug.
So, although I will say that outside of this, you all do get the feeling that this from him at least. It's obviously something weird or magics that you're not used to or really understand, but you don't really feel any malice or malicious intent from him. Most of it is just he seems very put upon that he's having to help enact somebody else's plan that he really doesn't agree with. Just he's kind of done with the most part. But as you descend into the city itself and going through the that's like going into it. Yeah, you actually notice that all the spirits that are walking around here, pretty much that's like are pretty well seeming like a normal city almost. So moving about within their it's like within their normal it's like daily afterlives. So there, and as you walk to the city square itself, there's a marketplace. So most of the stalls are empty and they don't seem to be full of anything else, but you have people as pantomiming, buying groceries, having conversations that don't really seem to be coming out of everywhere, or that's like going. You can't really fully hear all of it, but or playing in activities like sports or other things that have no balls. It's just a random echo of a life or a civilization that used to be. So, which in turn, how do you feel like you're reacting to that?
Very weirdly, just like walking around them and looking through them, and just like, this is so weird.
So that just seems to be a little bit off from what you're normally used to.
Yeah.
And another thing that I sort of mentioned while you were away, Aaron, is just I'm thinking like, well, if this Echomancer guy is thinking about raising the dead, maybe that makes him a necromancer. So I'm becoming more and more skeptical of this whole thing. I'm thinking like, maybe this is really bad.
So that's all right. So you're having some doubts about what could be happening here.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So working from there. All right. But yeah, it doesn't. That's like it doesn't really take you that long to get to the town hall. It actually you see this very gothic or gothic looking building that full of spires in front of you. You walk in, and that's something when you kind of realize you've made another error, that you do see that there is somebody at the front of what looks like a massive repository of different scrolls, books, and whatnot. But there's a line. There's a huge line, like a Disney World line that exists in front of you.
Of spirits or people?
So of spirits. So well, the spirit people
Mm.
that they have. It's like that they have. That's like so what they were going through. That's like and lines in front of you. So and if you're going to get there, it's going to be a long wait because apparently the bureaucracy of the dead still exists. So
Whoa, wait. They're not completely substantial. We should just walk through them.
well, they are though. That's the thing when you came through is that it looks like you don't feel. Sometimes you can phase a little bit, but yeah, this is they do have weight to them.
Okay, guys.
And when you, I will say that you do bump in with the mech suit. One woman looks over, kind of a little bit irritated, so not angry, just a bit perturbed. So, which is there. So, how do you feel like you could get through?
All right, I lead the group off to the side, where the line isn't quite there, and I point to the wall, and I say, "Look, we can just climb up the wall and sneak in that way. So I can walk up the wall. You can fly up over the wall. I can.
No, I could climb up the wall and then glide over.
Okay.
Sure.
You can't fly, but you can fall any distance safely and control where you land. So yeah, glide.
That's true. So, or you could walk over to that as well. So
Yeah, I'll walk up the wall and I'll put down a rope and haul you guys up.
Yeah,
all
that
right.
works.
Okay. So all
So
right.
is there like a catwalk up there?
I will
Or
say
Rafters?
there are no catwalks, but there are stone rafters that are
Oh,
there.
there we go. We'll just hop from rafter to rafter like you do.
Okay, so I will say in this case, it's I'm actually going to go ahead. That's not really defy danger in this situation too, but I will allow one person to make a discern reality check before you do that.
Can I make that roll as well?
Yes. Well, just one person. So
Okay.
So choose one.
Go ahead.
All right. Yeah, I've been rolling really bad tonight.
Okay. That's not a failure. Okay. Make sure to mark off XP. All right. Yeah, you could go ahead and I will say that's gone ahead and made. You're doing that. So and Maxwell, is it you who are you creating it, or is it our Walker that's making the walkway trying to get up there?
Yeah, since I can just like walk up the wall, it'd probably be easiest for me.
Okay, so you go ahead and do that. However, you do as you put that up there. Go ahead and make a defy danger roll because you put your full weight on it, and you do notice it starting to crumble.
All right, time to defy danger.
Weird, it's like it sat under this something forever and then got old.
Yep.
This would probably be with dexterity, getting out of the way,
Yeah,
or
getting
power.
out of the way, or yeah, trying to move off of it before you put your entire weight into it.
Dexterity. Oh God. Does a 4 do anything?
Nope, that's gonna be fail.
So as I see him go through the rafter, I want to invoke "Let me see that," so I can figure out how to fix this so we can get across there safely.
All right. Yep. So, yep, you'll be able to do it here in a second. But yeah, you go ahead and tumbling down. Go ahead and take another hit point.
Okay.
So, because you just fall down immediately. So, all right, and but you don't seem the worst for wear. Although you do notice that when you do hit, it does kind of make another sound and the music that you were hearing much more lightly in here does seem to turn over to a minor chord, and everybody looks at you for a second before turning back their gaze to the front of the line.
Right, discordant sounds bad.
Yep. So yeah, so maybe moving within the flow, even if it's a little bit quicker, could help. So all right, but mechanic, what was the ability you were using again?
Let me see that. When you take a few moments to examine something interesting, ask the GM 2 of the following questions.
Okay. All right. What's your questions?
What's wrong? Well, I know what's wrong with them. They're rotting and falling apart because of age. How do I fix this so we could use this pathway and get around the darn line?
All right. So over that, so yeah, you know that it's basically more broken than that. I will also say if you want to fix this, basically it's breaking it in a way that you're not that you don't see yourself as responsible, because the discord obviously will upset the spirits, but if it looks like it was something that naturally came, they will probably ignore it and ignore you and just go to repairing the melody essentially.
So I meant specifically the rafters, so we could just keep going across.
Well, that's the thing. So you can with the rafters, you can't really, you don't even have anything with you to specifically fix it.
How about a repair kit?
Oh, you can't do the repair kit, so you can do that, but that's going to be you can make an attempt on that.
Actually, if that would take longer than waiting in the line, I will skip that.
Well, here's your two options here. So I will say basically it's just the risk that you're going. It's two different risks. So you can go ahead and repair that, or try to repair that and see. However, it's like you don't know what the full effect of that was, especially if it maybe changes the melody. The other thing is that if you can hit it in a way where it looks like it collapses on its own without anything from you, that will distract the spirits long enough because they'll go off to repair and create the opening in the line for you. So
Okay.
those are two options that you can go to, but with
So
two
we can
different
lure
risks.
them with bright and shiny toys.
Yeah, you essentially,
Or
lure them
breaking
with
the wall.
destruction or distraction, or
Mhm.
try to fix it, but that could change it in a way depending on your role, where the
Which could
attention
change
is.
the music as a whole.
Exactly.
Got it. Alrighty then.
Let's engineer a controlled demolition.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds. Does anyone have any demolitions? I mean, I can look into my bag of tricks and see.
I mean, I think energy cannon counts, but that's not subtle. I would again argue that either adventuring gear or repair kit would have the necessary things to use to do that.
Yep, and I would say the adventuring kit, or I would say that again, if you,
Either
and,
or.
yeah, and I would actually say with the energy cannon piercing, you know what, yeah, and you would have to restock on that possibly, but I would allow a hack and slash on there. But I would say because you can, I believe you're able to do that with intelligence instead of.
Yep.
All right, so I would say if you want to use your intelligence roll, this is basically like taking an aim shot at it. So that is perfectly okay.
Yeah, it's got 2 ammo, so I'll have a shot left.
Okay, yep. Before you have to.
And it's got
restock.
2 piercings, so
Mhm.
and they won't notice that I shot them. They'll just see the effects.
Yeah. So here's the thing. So if it's a 10 plus, they will. It's a 10 plus. You have no problems. If you do, and if you succeed with the complication, some of them will notice, and then and then everybody else can do something to possibly distract those spirits. So,
All right.
so go ahead and make
Can
your
I
shot.
use either a charge off the bag of books or repair kit to give myself a slightly better chance? Get a +1.
Let's see. For the bag of
To
books.
silence the gun, etc. Improve aiming temporarily.
Yeah, I'll let you do adventuring to. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll let you take a charge off adventuring. Say that you use something of you use something for a silencer. So up to your discretion.
Yep. I miss this pillow, but it's worth it. Rolling. This will be at +3. And a good thing it is. That's a 9.
All right,
Almost
so,
there.
Almost there. So you do make the shot, but because it's so close, you only have 2 spirits that are distracted by it and start moving to your position. So, all right. So either Ramos or Click, what are you doing to distract those spirits?
Oh, so there's only 2 that are coming after us?
Yes.
Oh, okay, so everyone's distracted, but we got 2 that are looking our way.
Yeah. You basically got the
Okay.
bare minimum of who would actually
Mhm.
start walking towards you or are distracted by this. So what are you doing to get them off?
Is there a social move that I can do?
Parlay?
Let's see. You can parlay with them. I would actually allow this. So, if you're trying to, what are you trying to do to take their attention?
Well, I'm gonna
or perhaps
tell.
aid or interfere.
Well, let me hear what he has to do first, and then I'll let you know.
Sure, I'm gonna give. One of the things that I got in the city was bandages and 4 coins.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna hold up the 4 coins to Ramos and say, "Hey, I bet you can't distract him."
Oh, jeez. Christ.
That was good.
Nice one. So go ahead, take an experience for that.
All right, thank you. Does that go on the same as failures?
Yes, it's all the experience. So, and remember, when you get 10, mark that all off. That takes you to a level.
Okay.
I mean, I guess I could just clamber over to them and just sort of start chatting with them and we're trying to chat with them and just sort of, perhaps at my own disadvantage, just sort of letting the other 2 go in and look around and just sort of chatting with the spirits for a little bit until they lose interest.
Okay. I will say that. Let's see.
Is your plan to bore them to re-death?
Yes.
All right. You can, although I will allow you to go ahead and make a discern reality before you try to parlay. If you want to try to figure out anything.
Sure. Yeah. No. I'll give that a go. All right. That's a nice, good roll. That is a that's a 9.
Okay. Excuse me. All right. So you can ask one question.
Okay. So discern realities. What here is useful or valuable to me in terms of distracting them?
You see, as you look off to the side, you see that there is a guitar that's standing off to the side.
Well-
So,
No way that could go wrong.
yep. But I will say, because you saw that and you know that again, it's all about the harmony here. And so if you decide to pick that up and use a charisma check to basically, this will be a slight defy danger. So, oh no, this is a parlay. I'm going to give you a parlay. So this will basically be charisma. So, and that is basically leverage that you have. So, so it's a +1 on a charisma check.
Okay, I guess I'll grab the guitar and I'll try to sort of Pied Piper them into complacence.
Mhm.
Okay, so all right, so hey, ghost guys, look, I can play the guitar. See, watch. And I go for it.
This is literally the Beetle and the Bard.
Oh my god, I got a 6 plus 2 plus 1, but I only rolled a 3.
Okay, so
Well, you're making noise.
Yeah.
All right, so I will say that you do that, but you're playing so hard, and it's going, and you're what you end up doing right now is you play so hard that you end up you're stressed about this, that your eyes on them while everybody else is going towards fixing that barrier, that you actually end up hurting yourself a little bit. So take a hit point.
Oh jeez.
As you basically break the guitar strings as you're trying to strum them hard, but the other two lose interest and walk off. So you do manage to get through, but you have that complication now. So
my fingers are so bloody.
yep. You have blisters on your fingers. So, all right, but you did clear the path. So Reginald walks up in front. That's like with you to what looks like a fairly slow-moving ethereal. That's like ethereal clerk that's just going through. And as he looks up, may I help you?
Hey, looking for information? We're new in town, and
Oh, tourists, you're all the same. So, wanting information, I hope you might want to look into property here at some point. What information are you looking for, young man?
I kind of look at the group. Looking for tech, looking for
Scholarship technology.
The engineering or magical marvels of your civilization, man. We must see them. We must know whether it's worth trading with you or not.
Looking to start barter a trade along with
where are your proudest achievements?
Oh, well,
most interesting mechanisms.
Oh,
clank, whir.
So, well, we have everything right now, from the again, the sky. It's like the flying sky trams to the tech to the golem guards. So they are. They are clockwork wonders outside of our own wind. You may have to be more specific. So,
great. Where are the plans for those? I want to see how they did that.
No, we can certainly look up from that. That does require the charge, though. But it specifically. So, what information are you trying to glean from them? What specifically do you want from technical?
Well, one, if it's a useful design that we can then replicate and sell, that would go towards getting some money. But two, weak points on the golem guards, wherever those might be, and what are they guarding?
Okay, so
especially what are they guarding?
Yeah, since this is the town hall records, maybe we can find some blueprints or some more information about the city.
Who's the richest citizen? Who are the best merchants?
Oh, power supplies. So, all right. You're looking for the thing that gave our civilization life to be able to work. That's work our wonders. So, all right. We do have the plans here, but they are restricted though. So we usually only give access to those who have proven that they are able to work in harmony with our culture. So what proof can you give me that?
I will spout some lore about music and harmonics.
All right. So let's see if that gives. I will
see whether I'm right or not.
All right. Let's see if you can go ahead accumulate knowledge on something. All right. I will actually say that that's a bonus. So go ahead and make that, and if that does, that will give you a bonus to the charisma check for parlay. So
it'd be terrible to make a charisma check. Okay, so that's with a bonus. I'm at 11.
11. All right. So
Exactly. +2 in, so +1 for the bonus.
all right. So that case, yeah, you absolutely know something about your technology. I will say that the particular engine used on your ship is something that draws in Solaris' energy far more efficiently than anything else that this particular clerk has seen. And the fact of the matter is that you learn from that particular lore is that they did not actually use the cloud ships, but instead chains to bring the islands closer together. Some sort of ability, essentially a concussive cannon to chain other islands and bring them in proximity. So far different than that. So that will actually, and because you got your 10, that's going to give a +2 bonus to parlay. So whoever wants to do the charisma check, you can do that, and they will give you the information on the reactors that you know.
My charisma is as high as it can be. If does anybody else want to roll, or should I roll?
Is that?
I have a penalty to charisma if you want me to roll.
All right, but you do have a +2, so.
Dan, do you want to roll, or should I roll?
Which one are you? Are you Ramos or Click? I lost.
I'm Ramos.
You're Ramos? Oh, great. Ramos, take care of this. Negotiate with the man.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
I lead into the bond because you're my personal assistant, whether you know it or not.
Take an experience.
Thank you.
I give Ramos the 4 coins for distracting.
All right, so yep, you got that. All right, so what's your speech?
Well, I guess I must offend him terribly. I say, yes, no, please. We would absolutely love to hear all of this glorious knowledge. Before I start saying anything, how much was my bonus on this?
+2. +2 because of the lore.
Oh, God. So I only got a 6 total, which is still a failure.
Oh, my God.
You rolled a 2?
I rolled a 2.
Fantastic.
This is my 3rd 2 of the game.
All right.
Hey,
so,
I guess you get an experience point.
Yeah.
All right, you do get an experience point. So, all right.
Okay.
So, all right. Yeah, so this was not enough to be able to get the information from that. But if you see Reginald look down.
This is the spirit clerk, right?
This is the spirit clerk here. So, all right. I do not like doing this because it is dealing with like physical matters or parts of the physical soul. But if you're willing to make that's like a small pact, I can give you enough influence. That's like to make this. That's like make this appropriate, but it will be at a price. Do you agree?
Surely you could do better, Ramos. Take care of this.
So,
I know I don't get another one, but
no, yeah, that's spent on here. So this, and I will say that this roll right now, basically here are the options. So you can take Reginald's offer to go ahead and get the information, or you can set out your own. Because I will say that you have from this, you have been able to get the locations of what you were looking for, essentially some of the rune scapes right now to be able to reset things. So. It's like the libraries to be able to get this. However, it's part of basically going into it without any kind of translation. So, or being able to have somebody to assist you. So,
I suppose I could take Reginald's bargain. Why not? That doesn't sound like anything terrible will happen to me by doing it.
All right. So, you decide to shake his hand?
Yes, I decide to shake his hand.
All right. So, go ahead. And for the, I will say for the next 2 rounds, go ahead. Go ahead and reduce your hit points to 0.
Oh, okay.
So that's just a temporary. Just go to marker right now.
So is he just lightly dead?
Yes, you do see him enveloped in what looks like that same pinkish energy. And suddenly, yeah, Ramos, you hear the actual. You hear the melody, you hear the harmony, you hear everything. It is wonderful. It is inspiring. But unfortunately, in this moment, you have also detected something that is a discord in the world, and it's not coming from the 2 others that are standing in front of you that haven't joined the great music. It's from going further to the east. So That's like what you are seeing to be within. That's like with in almost the the north. It's almost towards the an area that seems to be holding some of the golems or some of often here.
Okay.
So you will get to do one. It's like so you will get to do one roll. That's like, but I'll say right now that you feel yourself pulling away briefly for a second. So and you get to make one more parlay check with it, but you're at a +4 now.
Okay, let's hope that I don't. All right.
A total +4 or +4
He-
to his stats, so +6 total.
Yeah, it's no +4 to this roll, so he will still have his normal stats. So if he
Okay,
has
yeah, so +6. Okay,
+6 total, so yeah.
Okay, then
you
that
can no longer fail.
yeah, that would be a 13.
All right, so yes, the it's like you're acting perfectly within harmony, so you get the information that you need. So you get the it's like the library with the rune designs, and you can absolutely understand them. So that is actually so that's an automatic lore check you'll be able to take as this point. But you do feel the pull going off of to the side. But as that happens, you feel yourself kind of ripped out of the melody. It is extremely discordant. It's hard. It feels off. Take 3 hit points.
Okay.
So, and as you do that, you see him fall down to the ground, just panting and muttering about losing the music, losing the beat.
It was so beautiful. I was I dead?
So,
Oh God.
Not
You look
quite.
better.
Not quite. I synchronized you with how with this. That's like the the echo memories of others. So, in order to give you insight, it's something I don't do with living spirits because of the harm that it can do. But and also given the fact that my partner is technically in between certain things, so it doesn't affect him in the way that it affects you.
Goodness, I didn't even have to bet you to do that. Don't do that again, man.
I let my sometimes I let my curiosity get ahead of me. I'll be more careful next time. I apologize.
All right, but from the information you've gleaned, you do have access to the library, which you'll be able to go to. I'll say as a free, you can translate, get the stuff to translate what you need to. However, in order to repair the beacons, however, you do still have the knowledge of that pull of the discordant music that is coming from the storage area for the golems, which probably also has a lot of the other stored tech as well. So you kind of have a choice right now. You can leave that. You could go investigate that now. You could go to the library to get the information that you need, or you can split the party and do both. So I'll leave that decision to you.
I say so when I was a not ghost, something about the music is wrong that those golems are guarding. Something in there is bad. The spirits don't like it. Also, there's probably a lot of sweet stuff there. And honestly, I'm going to see if I can take one of the golems because I would want one.
That's actually exactly what I was going to suggest. Is go get some of those golems. They'd be darn useful. Who needs ships when you have golems?
Exactly.
So Reginald, the little guy's name is Reginald, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So if there's a discordant disturbance in this musical, I don't know what to call it, force, would correcting that discordance stabilize whatever it is your partner's trying to do here and let him, either complete it or shut it down?
Presumably, yes, but that's why I was wanting to stabilize the beacons first before I did anything else.
Well, sounds like we found the real problem.
So we can. We can give that a try, but I can't give any other general guarantees of whether or not that would succeed.
All right. So who is good at what would research be? Would that be generally spouting lore?
Yeah, the spouting lore. So
or discerning reality, or
yeah. So discerning reality, and so about the study of the situation too. Although that's kind of like immediately when you're in front of something. So a spouting lore, if you're wanting to, since you have learned more about the city now, you can do it. But usually I will say that because of that, that probably would require going to the library, since that would be.
No, that's what I was asking is, who is better at doing the library research? Would it be just?
I'm pretty good, but I mean, I have a +1 in int, and like it's sort of, I certainly like hit forbidden knowledge. It would make sense for me to.
There you go. That would make sense. And theoretically, the unfortunate carnage that might occur would be with the golems. So I probably should be there.
Okay. So
Yeah, I'm also pretty strong. I could. It depends where we haven't seen any of the crew of the Windblade.
that is true.
I would be a lot more equipped to handle fighting them.
They could be at the library. Perhaps we should all go there. Because that's the obvious place to go.
Which place is closer?
That's a good question.
Yes, the library is the closest to you, so it's slightly past town the square. The storage facility is actually farther to the northeast, but of the island itself. However, it is it'll be a further bit away too. I will say though that there is one of the beacons there, but you have to, but it's basically a very long trek to get over there, and if you you'll have to. That will take a little bit of going over.
There's a beacon at the Golem repository.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
Let's go to the Golem repository then.
Yeah, because it sounds like that beacon may be out of kilter as well as everything else.
Right.
Okay. So, all right. So you're just gonna head there first. All right. So, all right. So it takes you. So you go and take your trek out there. It takes you a little bit of while since it's walking. Also for the fact that the throngs of people are starting to, spirit people are trying to get a little bit more, I would say, agitated but active. So as they're going through, and as you're going through, you can see actually near towards fully the north, you see one of the primary beacons that's standing up over everything that is starting to pulse again. So that's like, so depending on what happens, that might very well be a bigger problem. So coming up, but all right. But you do make it through the city, and it looks like you end up somewhere in a very ancient version of a warehouse district. So with larger, that's like stone buildings, but it looks like they were less stacked as they were poured, which is kind of interesting given the fact of the construction that you're seeing around it. But from here, you do hear the music ends up changing again to where you do hear it going into more of those minor chords.
Mm-hmm.
And there are far and far less people. It's like echoes around, particularly that you have. That's the ones that you're seeing almost seem to cover their face a little bit as you're getting through. And as you crest over the hill, you do see, yes, the main. It's like seems to be a statue, or what you'd presume is a statue of one of these golems that looks like, for lack of a better term, like somebody took a pipe organ and reconstructed it into a humanoid form.
Hell yeah.
Whoa.
But obviously, it's like when you look at when you start seeing there, and in particular you, Ramos, since you had a little more of experience, yeah, that you can actually hear the sounds coming from that, and they are massively discordant. They should not be doing that. It should be more of a basic lockstep with them, and
Okay.
that is moving against them. And
So wait, the sound coming from the golem is moving against them?
yeah, basically, yeah, it's the you know that the sound from the golem, think of it, it's producing the sound incorrect to everything else around it. So it should be kind of feel like a marching band sounds to you, but it honestly sounds like various drum beats that are going against a normal beat. So that's
Counter beats.
yes, counter beats. So
Can I try to fix it? Sort of go up to the statue and kind of see if there's something wrong with it, and potentially, if I can see what's wrong with it, try to fix it up.
you can try to, but as you got closer, you realize that no, this is not just a statue. This is one of the golems, and if it sees you or hears the music, that might be the reason why the others were hooding their faces, because damping down on their own personal melodies.
Can I climb up a building somewhere and get a look around, see what other threats there might be?
Absolutely. Go ahead. You can go ahead and do that. I won't say you can go ahead and just do a discern reality. Actually, everybody else could if they want to.
Wow, I actually don't fail.
All right, excellent. What'd you get?
A 9 plus 0.
Okay, so 9 on that. All right, you'll get 1 question. Is anybody else doing any other discern realities?
Yeah, I got to discern realities, and I rolled an 11 finally.
Yeah. All right, so that'll be excellent. So you'll get
Let's-
you'll get 3 questions and a push forward on that, and then
And while they're staring off into space and contemplating the cosmos and discerning reality, let me see that.
okay.
What's wrong with this golem? How might I retune it?
All right, so
Does it
all
need a metal foil on the back to change the harmonics?
Okay, let's see. Yeah, well, so we'll start with yours first for the let's see it. Yeah, you could barely kind of make anything else out, but then that's something that you notice that looking through the mass of different pipes and it's like switches that are going through its body, there seems to be some other figure moving through
Hmm.
that it's like it looks like there's something inside of its chest that starts moving back and forth, and as it does you see that the different switches and steam releases and pipes are vibrating, and to the point where you're even hearing some of this discordant sound.
So does it look like it's got a pilot?
uh you
Is this
can't
an
really
organ mech suit?
you can't it doesn't look like a mech suit. You can't really determine, but that's it, that should but you only can see right now is that's wrong from
Okay.
your distance, so that it doesn't look like somebody should be in that portion of it, and if that's a mech suit cockpit, they screwed that design up royally. That
So
is
maybe it's
not
someone that the golem ate.
so possibly, but you're still a bit
And-
far away to look off, so all right.
All right. Well, I'll meander over that way while the other people are doing the safe thing.
All right, so you're just gonna walk it over, so all right.
Slowly. I'm not going to run up to it.
Okay,
But,
so we'll
but
hold up for a
please
second.
resolve their stuff as I go over towards Danger.
All right, so
Any
you'll
questions?
make a decision. All right, so for that, Ramos, what were your 3 questions?
I guess. So first of all, what here is useful or valuable to me?
Okay, so for what is useful or valuable to you, first off, you actually do see that off to the side of the golem,
Mhm.
there appear to be release mechanisms for the door that's behind it. So if you can actually get the 2 of those, which actually it looks like the release mechanisms are almost bellows that are going into it's like different pipes. So if you can your guess is if you can push those down in a certain way to make a noise, that the door will open up regardless. So
Oh, cool. What should I be on the lookout for?
that would be the giant golem right in front of you. So that
Oh,
it is it that is, it is active. It is looking around and it does not sound happy.
Okay. Let's. What here is not what it appears to be.
The that's like actually that is the one thing that as you look fully at the golem itself, you kind of see what Maxwell was pointing out. Other is that you have that there's some that seems to be a pilot in there, but once you kind of take a closer look, you realize that through your unique perception, that's not a pilot. That seems to be an added part to this it's like to this thing that is causing the discord, and the sounds that's partially making is a screaming that's coming from the inside of it that is putting the sound of the golem off.
Okay. Well, I mean, I
So
guess.
so that person in there is not supposed to he does not want to be in there and is probably not supposed to be in there.
Okay, I guess like first and foremost, I relay that information to my prior. I say like, release valves. There's somebody in there. We gotta get rid of. We gotta deal with the guy in there. And I think that if we press those release valves, we'll be able to get in this thing. So I just sort of, cool.
That's easy. So all right. So those but that means that you do have a it's like so you do know what will probably help this thing, and you have a plus forward on. So you as a group will have that plus forward on acting because of that. All right, and then click. What was your question?
Ramos, did you have 2 questions or 3 questions?
I did have 3 questions because the what I should be on the lookout for was just the golem, which is reasonable.
So
Yeah.
I was just writing them down so I don't ask the same question.
no, that's actually great. Thank you.
Yeah, I did lookout, valuable, and not what it appears.
Okay.
What's about to happen?
All right. You
As I
actually
approach it,
yeah. I will say that you actually are looking back a little bit further. You notice that above the warehouse, there actually seems to be other stacks that look like, again, organ pipes that are coming up. And you hear more of those minor chords going off, as well as a glow, a, pulsing glow that you recognize as one of the beacons beginning to increase in its tempo.
All right. Beacon on the fritz, guys. Beacon on the fritz, guys. And
So-
Yeah, maybe the beacon's causing these little spirit dudes to materialize accidentally within the golem.
So possibly. So, but and I will actually. Well, sorry, that if I didn't make it clear, when you're looking from there, it's not a spirit person; it's a person.
Oh,
Great.
Oh,
Yeah.
those are just sailors. Well, those are
Yeah.
easy to extract. Just kill them.
So, which is working from it. So, but yeah, about this time, as you're moving forward, Maxwell, yeah, it's like the golem itself, it just ratchets its head down and opens its mouth, which is coming out as halfway. Yeah, think of a combination halfway between a pipe organ and a scream.
So an angry cat.
So,
But loud. Really, really loud.
kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
So, depending on
Yay
the
for
cat, too.
having the covered cockpit.
Yep,
Cannot speak. Covered driving thingy.
That is true. So that is actually a bit horrifying. So, but it is going to make a move towards you, and it is somewhat sluggish. But every
And
time it's
I know where the button is to push.
to open the door behind, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, yes. Yes, you can try to avoid it essentially. So in order, yeah, you basically have to push those down. But I will say that the way that it's separated on both sides, so it's basically like a security lock or a deadlock that you have to have two people on both sides creating the appropriate sound or the bellows to open the doors. So
Oh, they're not. They're sound locks.
Yeah.
Not.
yeah, literally sound locks.
Disappointing.
Kind of think like Avatar: Last Airbender with the locks they used in the air temple. So that's kind of like
Yeah.
that.
Whoosh.
So in this case, so this will be definitely defying danger. If you're wanting to try to take it on in any way to maybe provide cover for the other two taking care of the locks, that's absolutely possible. But also,
Sure.
it's
I'll
like
redirect the attack from them to me with a defend. Does that make
okay,
sense?
you can let's see. Yep, you can basically stand in defense of the person, or as a distraction. So, or if you
Or defy danger.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you want to actually attack this thing, because it does look like there's something in it. There's a person in it, so obviously that would be a problem to take care of. So I will leave those.
Well, it's only a problem if it's not members of the other pirate crew.
That's true. So, but you don't know that at this point, and that could be more information. So,
Oh, but
yeah,
I'm good at making bad assumptions.
yeah. So you
So I
could
can hack and slash is what you're saying.
Yep. So you could basically defend at this point, and you'll be attacked, but it's still kind of taking. That's like you're basically bringing the attack onto yourself. Otherwise, because nobody else is behind you yet, or you can defy danger and try to inflict harm on this.
Well, or I could use volley.
That's true. So, because you do have a bunch of weaponries.
Well, I have the one, and it's got a shot left.
Okay.
Oh, why not? Let's see how damage works in this system.
Okay.
Oh wait, that's right. You said there's a guy in there. I guess we want to question him if nothing else. So, I will. I'll do the distracted thing. While are these guys running up to open up the hatch? If I do that,
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
Ramos, get on that. No, the left one. Good. And then, so what am I rolling? Defend.
Defend right now. So that'll be
or defy danger, whichever.
Well, which one do you want to do? This is up to you. So.
Will they have the same mechanical effect here of keeping?
They will.
Off?
So the only difference is that if you're inflicting any damage on this thing. So.
No, I'm not trying to inflict damage on it. I'm just trying to distract it. So,
Okay.
Defy danger with int.
Yeah, I would actually say quick thinking. So if you're just wanting to dance around it essentially with the
exactly. I'm watching its seeing if there's a pattern, and then,
Absolutely. So that would work. So go ahead and make that roll.
There we go. That is a 10.
10. All right. So, yep, you.
I'm dancing with a column.
All right. So you do actually have that, and yep, you do have a push on that since you managed to go ahead and get that. So, yeah, you dance around that. And what extra effect do you want it to have?
Slow it down so it's easier for them to open the hatch.
Okay. So yeah, you managed to, I will say, find some extra piping so that that was discarded along the ground and pulled along its feet. So with its strength, it ends up bending it around partially around its feet and is starting to get tangled. So that will
Okay.
actually give either to the round without it being attacked. So uh, I will say that you guys, you don't even have to make rolls on this because it's
There we
basically
go.
just pushing something down
Cool.
for right now.
Solved.
So you can do that. But since you two are looking back at it, you can actually make. Let's see. I will say that each of you can actually make a discern reality check on this easily. So now that you're a little bit closer, so
Okay. Each of who? The other guys?
yes, so Ramos
Okay,
and
sure.
Flick. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
you're busy. You're busy
Yeah.
dancing around it.
Good.
All right, 7. I can ask one.
Okay, so all right, and what'd you get, Daniel?
I got a 10.
A 10. All right, so you got 3 questions, Sam. So all right, so Click. What's your first question?
About the levers.
Well, about or basically about the situation because you know the levers basically open the door. So, but you have the golem. You basically can see something about the golem and to answer a question.
Right. Well, based on my previous question about what's about to happen with the beacon going off, I want to know maybe a little bit more about what I should be on the lookout for in regards to the beacon.
Okay, you know that excites the spiritual energy to a point where it reaches critical mass. So it's basically an outpouring. So, some at least from what Reginald told you. So if this is happening over here, you actually don't see any of the other spirits like you did before. So it might be being channeled in some way to either that's like to a negative end. So that might be a big problem.
Okay.
So, but that's further along inside of it. So, all right, and let's shoot you, Ramos.
Okay. So I mean, let's maybe with regards to like why the golem is behaving in this way or the person in there, who's really in control here? Maybe.
All right, absolutely. So you actually, as you get behind it and you press down, you actually, the golem ends up falling a little bit backwards to stumbling, and you get a larger look at it. Seems to flex its back, and you realize that you are seeing fully into where the human is, and you get a look and see that it's yeah, looks like somebody literally has put a person in there and interconnected them with the different parts of the that's like of the organ golem itself. And as you look at it, then that is absolutely a tattoo of the Windblade crew. That is there too. So, and if he's in there, that probably means the captain of the Windblade probably put them in there. Willingly or unwillingly, we're not really sure.
Okay. Is there any way to push for more information on that front by leveraging what happened here recently?
Well, you have other questions, so you know that he's probably behind this. So what are the other 2?
Okay. Maybe what here is useful or valuable to me now that I have a better vantage?
Absolutely. So, you do see that on the back of the golem, where it wasn't before, there appears to be another large pipe, not one of the organ pipes, but it looks like more of an odd, flexible, leathery one that is also pulsing with that's like the energy that was pulsing with the pinkish energy from the beacons or the crystals. So, and seems to be leading back into it. So if you take care of that, that might actually help you out a little bit.
Okay. Then maybe just another what should I be on the lookout for now that I'm nice and close?
So if he's it's like if once you've opened now that you've opened that door, once that is if you take care of that one, they're probably going to be other golems heading your way. So
Okay.
So that's what you know, but you do know that there is a specific weak point on this particular golem now. So, and if you're wanting to act against that too, that adds a +1.
I want to use my crossbow and shoot that leathery cord.
All right, you get a +1 on that. So go ahead and make your roll.
Okay. Yes, just regular volley roll, I guess. I don't make it because I rolled a 2 again.
Okay, mark it down. So mark it down on your experience. Have you reached 10 yet?
I've reached 7, so
Okay, that seems
okay.
like pretty close. So, all right, but you missed that. It does, and unfortunately, right now, I will say that it doesn't get an attack on you, but it's going to. The golem is now getting up and trying to maneuver around. So, you have a choice. You can either get through the door again, try to get out of its way, or you can try to stop it.
I want to try to shoot it again.
Okay. All right, you're gonna go back. You won't be able to do that until another round. So this will be for Click and Maxwell. So
Sure.
what are you doing?
It's on the ground right now, the golem?
Yeah, it's basically tripped over, but it's about to start turning over again. So
From my
before.
rooftop vantage point, I want a death from above it.
Okay, so you're trying to just hit it. Yeah, you're trying to
hit it and
jump
knock
onto
it
it.
back down.
Okay, so all right, and you. That's like, so are you trying to aim for the tube itself, or just?
Yeah, I can do certain things with my death from above depending on how well I roll.
Okay.
So let's see how successful I am.
All right, go ahead and make the roll.
Plus strength. Nice. I fail.
All right, so. All right, so
yeah, just gonna trip and stumble down off the building as it moves into position, and I just kind of bounce off of where it is.
All right, so yeah, that's gonna be a negative on that. So that means it gets an attack on you without a defense. So this might not be great. So we'll wait for that here in a second. And Maxwell, so still there? Oh, Peter's being muted. So
Max, you're muted.
he might have walked away for a second, so we'll hold up on just a second here. So, yeah, unfortunately, let's see. We're gonna have to roll with that one, and
Let's see what happens to the golem when it attacks me.
let's see. Yeah, it's going back right now. It's not for a full attack, fortunately, but it is pretty PO'd. So, and is wandering off from that. So let's see what happens. Okay, and yeah, it kind of ended up backhanding you completely, and that's going to take. Oh, hello. All right, and you take 4 hit points minus any armor that you have.
I thought we hadn't solved when I got up.
So yeah, they missed 2 attacks on it. So.
Well, I thought they were going to be able to open it without any rolls because.
Well, they opened the door, but the golem is still up though.
Oh, okay. Was there a guy that fell out?
No, he's stuck in there. Although there is a tube, basically a long umbilical leading back into the factory that is porting energy from what you can see towards it. So they tried to make 2 attacks on it. They failed, and it kind of backhanded them. So we're back up to you, Max.
Zap.
All right, try it again. All right.
So I mean, so it sounds like the solution here is to actually attack it then.
Yeah, and you do see a cord that basically is leading towards it. So if you can attack it, that may depower it.
Oh,
so
well, I'll just stand on the cord.
Okay. Oh, literally stand on the cord. Okay.
Yeah. It's not going anywhere.
All right. So okay.
It's also got its feet sort of wrapped up, so that's the thing too.
All right. Well, it did backhand it, and it's starting to turn around, so that's why it unfortunately.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna pull the cord and see what happens.
Okay, so you're gonna try to yank
that
it out.
That won't go wrong.
All right. So, well, in that case, that's going to be just a strength test. So, for defying danger.
Well, I mean, isn't it sort of in the mech suit kind of hack and slash kind of thing? I could use instead of strength sort of thing. So I use the mech to grab it and pull it in the right directions.
Yeah, I will. I will allow it. Yeah, so that's the melee. I will allow for attack on that. So, go ahead.
And a good thing I did. That's a 10.
All right. So, damn. All right. So you do go ahead. Yeah, you managed to pull it back. It actually just stumbled back, but with that extra 10, it manages to get enough force and leverage where it disconnects it. Mm-hmm. And as it does, you end up here. Yeah. You see that pinkish energy come up for a second. You hear music that goes from discordant to completely harmonious before it just falls limp to the ground. And it's like as it does that, you see the rest of the organ, that's like pipes part out and deposit the wind cleaver, it's the wind blade.
Captive.
Well, not captain, but crew member out onto the floor.
No, I mean, the called captive, basically.
The captain. Oh, captain. So sorry. All right. But yeah. And so that's like, so you have managed to defeat that. The doors are open, and you have a captive of the wind cleaver, the wind blade behind you.
Okay, I thought the doors were actually on the golem itself, but
Oh
that's
no,
actually...
sorry, my apologies. So they were behind it. It basically was just standing in front of it, guarding it. So
Okay, well, I think there's a lot more cords to go pull. Is the wind blade crewman conscious?
He is, although he is really moaning pretty badly. So, and as you're looking for, if you want to look at him for a second, so you do see that, there seems to be. That's like they actually saw that the cord right now it went into the golem, but also there were smaller ones coming off of it that were directly linked into him. So, and Ramos, I will say that as you look from it, you actually do get a little bit of a sense that he is. Oh, I was like, he's about in a second. So, all right. But he's going to be that he almost feels exactly like kind of you felt when Reginald linked you in with the other echoes. So, but far more discordant. Like this was done in a wrong way.
Oh, geez. Okay. So is this guy conscious? Like, can we talk to him, or is he sort of like?
He's coming. I'll say he's coming around, but your senses of it right now is that that he's still having an after effect from essentially the conversion that he was put into. So if you could do something to clear that from that, basically that spiritual disharmony from him, then he might be able to talk.
Okay. Hey guys, can we salt this fool?
We only have 2 charges left, and we might need to find a third one to shut down all 3 or repair all 3 of these.
Yeah, guys, I saw the beacon over there. It's about
right.
To go on the fritz.
But I can put a pinch on top of them.
Salt and can I borrow Reginald?
He's still with you, so yes. What do you want?
I let him know what I know about the beacon about to go on the fritz, and hand him the bag of salt. Pat him on the back and say, "Good luck. If there's any bad guys come back, we're gonna question this guy."
Oh, dear God. So, well, that's like, thank you for letting me know. I will be on my way as soon as I can. So, and you actually see that he walks and then seems to disappear. So,
I was going to offer to help, but that's just fine then.
All right, so you can run after him if you want to. So
no, he just disappeared. I'm good with that. If he can do that, he does not need me.
All right. So, but I will say, it doesn't really. You can actually take just a little bit of salt. I'm not going to say that it takes a little bit, but
with a little bit of salt then.
Yeah, you just sprinkle a little bit. That won't take it off there, but you actually do see it leaching that energy and just expelling it, and he immediately wakes up gasping. Like, what? Oh God, no, get away from me. Captain's mad. He's going to fuck with everybody. Go away.
And I grab him by the scruff of his shirt collar.
No.
Slam him up against the wall.
Hey. God, ow, don't, that's
what
on
are you doing here?
Oh God, that's on the organ ports. Ow. Oh God. What? Who are you?
Investigate evidence, and interrogate a witness or suspect with strength.
Okay, go ahead. Well, he's okay. So he's just confused at this moment. So, but he's just kind of getting his bearings. So he's kind of asking like, "What? Who are you?"
Yeah. So I'm not answering any of his questions. I'm just gonna be interrogating him with my questions.
Okay. So what are you asking?
Should I roll interrogate?
Well, what's your question first before you go into it? So
okay. You're gonna answer every one of these guys' questions, and I turn over like
nice.
Thinking about like I don't really
just
know.
Demand.
What do you need by organ?
And look at this.
Oh, never mind. I don't want to know. So you said the captain's mad, as in insane mad or angry mad, and you mean your captain?
Yes. Starlight. So that's like it's like he's gone completely and utterly off the goddamn bend. So
okay.
He told us we would be able to find a lot of old tech here that we could pawn off in the link or something else. Nobody else would know any forward. He had a secret entrance that he brought in, but then he started saying that he heard some music, and this place wasn't like this beforehand when we got here. It wasn't. So he started babbling out about the fact that he found the energy that'll set a sailing for years on end.
Mm-hmm.
That's like found those. That's like found those stupid crystal things, and then started futzing with them. So
And then, where is the captain then?
So he's he told me he was that's like he was going to take the rest of everybody else and make that's like make them protectors and take the place of that weirdo who's in the that's like who's at the gateway at the that's like at the core at the core. He said he wanted to be at the center of everything when it went off. That we'd have a city of our own.
Is not a great sounding kind of thing, is it?
No,
How'd you end up inside the golem?
So he put me in there. I told him I wasn't going to help. Help that and try to get back to the docks. And then it's like the minute I started saying something to the inquirent, I got swept off by it. That's like a complete. That's like by a wave of bluish energy. It's like bluish something. And then the next thing I know, I was in that thing screaming. Which, by the way, it's horrible when you can hear your own screams through a pipe organ.
I'm going to believe you on that one without trying it myself.
Yeah, it's sweet.
Nice observation. Really interesting. Let's move on.
Does it sound like after Captain Starlight went crazy, he went to the center location of town where Felipe was?
Or is that where he is now?
That's why he was just going there now too, because he did whatever he did to that thing, that beacon back there, and then decided to take the other two who he put into different robot robot bodies.
So we're like going behind Captain Starlight and fixing all the problems that he's been making so far, pretty much.
So, So basically, for you could tell that this is whatever the Echomancer was doing. It's obviously being corrupted by this pirate who is now deciding that he wants to make if this place is going to literally become a living island again. He wants it to make it his own personal base, basically the cove for pirates. That it's like his own personal Tortuga.
And there's an energy source that lets him move the island. It sounds like.
So that's it, whatever he's doing with this too. If he gets the change to that, he gets access to that. He can move this place anywhere he wants to.
So where's the secret door and where's the loot?
Oh, can you say that again, please?
Where's the secret door and where's the loot?
So,
nice.
I don't know. So, we found some place down there further in this that had a bunch of I don't know, engine parts or something. I didn't even see how that would even worked. Worked as needed too, or cannons of some sort too. Ones that had hooks and chains larger than I had ever seen before.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you've never seen those before.
So, well, again, we use wings. We're not using things to board ships, or when we do, we actually jump on.
Sounds like you have seen them before, because that is exactly what they're for, is for boarding other islands.
So, but it's like we're down there, but they're huge, though. We don't even know how to raise them.
Golems?
So,
just saying. Anyway,
but look, I don't care what's going on right now. I just want the hell off of this mad trip. It's like right now. So just.
So I have a quick question.
Yes.
Is indentured servitude a thing?
It can be, I guess, but
would our captain find value in extra crewmen?
Again, that's your decision to make. So if you want to basically use a charisma check to see if you can get this guy to join it, because he's
I wasn't planning on using charisma.
Well, so I'm going to say this is a bit of a fight here too, and also an indentured servitude. That's
I was just asking if it was even economically feasible.
I like said, probably given the captain, like I said, he likes to hire on people. He doesn't want to take on people that he knows will probably abandon.
This guy gets off this time. All right, moving along.
So, but that's like, and so right now you have, you have the information that the captain has at least two other golems. He is trying to synchronize these other, some of the other beacons in order to be able to in order to basically merge the island or whatever is happening in order to basically make a personal base, a floating island that is also a ship.
Or cause everything to explode.
True, because ultimately he's dealing with a power that he has no idea what he's doing.
Right.
So with this. So, and about that time, you do see that it's like about the time you see the flickering light from the beacon starting to stabilize again, and as you do, you see a flood of it's like flood of other spirits start moving through what looks like the factory over onto the side, and that's and Reginald reappears in front of you. What did you find out?
And that's what we found out verbatim.
Okay, so you repeat that back to him.
Yeah, because I don't care.
Okay.
Are the other two golems still here, or did they go off with the captain?
Reginald let you know. It looks like they've already gone. That's like gone. The storage facility that they were in seems to be ransacked at this point, but we have nothing. That's but it looks like they're not going to be able to. Let's go. We won't be able to stop them at least through that, unless we can figure out a quicker way through this. That's some way we can actually get to them or stop them.
Is there a particularly tall tower here?
I will say yes. They're absolutely actually the tallest tower.
We climb up. You guys grab on, and we glide over.
Okay. Well, the tallest. Okay. Well, the tallest tower essentially is the highest beacon to the north, to basically the front gate where you know that Philippe is. So, but you remember you also have 3 other golems that are about 9 to 10 feet tall, with the others that were there. So pretty big overall.
But
so
no, I'm looking for a place to boost us so we can glide to where we're going, which is, I assume, the center of town at this point.
Okay. Yeah.
Or where the golems are, technically, I suppose, would work too.
Okay, so you do have that. Although bringing up a couple of things just from this, you do know that you can restrict energy, but you're dealing with 3 possibly, and also as of this moment, you've only really relegated 2 of the other beacons, so or stabilize them.
Okay, so you're saying that we know we need to stabilize. The other beacons are all off kilter. We definitely need to stabilize all of them.
Well, here's what you can go from now, especially with the information you've learned, that he's obviously the captain is obviously drawing the power from the destabilized beacons.
Yep.
You can go ahead and take him. You can go ahead and go to the center now. But
I see. Yes.
If it does, you're possibly fighting at a larger disadvantage.
Yep. Which sounds like a bad idea with the way we've been rolling.
So, and as much as it's going through, you can. It's since I will say the glide will actually decrease the time, but if you want to, it's a race against time in this point. But you might be, if you can figure out a way to quickly consecrate some more of the. Some more of the salt, which I will say that you once you get back to the center town, that's easily obtained. That's everywhere essentially because of because of what you have, and I will say that you can actually have normal salt on you too. That's part of an adventuring kit for this.
Okay.
But you will need the information. So let's see. Actually, I'll even make this easier to this point. Ramos. So you were the one that had that information of basically of the understanding of the harmony.
Mm-hmm.
If you can make a spout lore check.
Okay.
Concerning this, then I will state that will allow both. That's like a group check right now, specifically to be able to utilize that with the appropriate salt and make enough for the rest of the beacons. And then if you do that, then Reginald will be able to go ahead and take care of that on his own while you go to the final fight.
So basically, we have to instill the magic vibrations in the crystal.
Yes. So basically,
every quack thing out there. Yeah, got it. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, this is just being able to make the appropriate consecration, and then Reginald will take care of that while you go off and fight the captain.
Take care of what?
The other. We'll actually go to the other beacons himself.
Ah, okay. So doesn't he take a long time to go do that?
He was going there fairly quickly, so he can get there. It's just that when he learned the salt basically was a thing that could actually take care of this immediately while his energies were having problems. So, all right.
Okay. So indeed, I say, well, I actually I think I kind of get this energy now because I rolled with my +1 and int 10.
All right, so you absolutely so you know exactly the appropriate amount to make too, so that is not a problem. In this case Reginald does, he takes that from you.
All right, I'm going to keep 3 pinches just in case we need to wake up some other people.
Okay, so I will say that takes, yeah. So that will go ahead. You can go ahead and do that. That's on the appropriate plus there. I will say that because of it though, since it comes from the harmony, it will require another sacrifice to be able to have that. So if you want those 3 pinches, personally, you're going to have to sacrifice 3 hit points.
No, not that much. Let's go.
Okay, so alrighty, because that is a little bit outside of that, but it is within harmony.
Understood. Well, and this is why I wear the armored suit. That with the extra armor and the backup system.
As dire as this situation is, so this golem that's right here, how damaged is it? How salvageable is it?
And how valuable is it?
And how Power Rangers we can ride in it-able is it?
Mm-hmm.
I would say that without understanding the full technology of it, to
let me see that.
Solved. Okay, so here's the choice though, because that's because you're kind of on the ticking time clock right here. Yep. If you can possibly understand to integrate it, since I will say now that you have the salt, that actually can tell you how to run it, but that means that whatever fight, if you can get it running in a way to help you, that means that you're probably going to be about 2 or 3 or 3 rounds behind everybody else if you try to go into the fight. So
what if we just want to salvage it later? Is it worth something?
You should be able to possibly do it, but you don't know if it'll be. It's like you don't know what's going to happen afterwards, so it's up to you.
What if I grab one of my standard clockwork construct brains out of my Keeper of Curios bag and pop it in to do it nice and quick?
So just kind of hijack the mechanism.
Yeah.
With your own program. Sounds good to me.
All right.
Okay. Hell, you helped me put my suit back together once.
That is true. So, okay. All right. Well, I will say that this is a one and done. So if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So,
so what am I to roll exactly? Should I roll just my lore, which would be based off of charisma, and a success is a success and a failure is a failure?
I'm going to go ahead and say that what you need to do is go ahead and roll spout lore first. Because this you know the knowledge right now, but it's also going to take Maxwell's technical skill to be able to install.
Okay. So can I use the my MacGuffin gear, the strange mysteries, to add to the spout lore?
Yes, you may. So that's a +1.
Okay. Whoop! Come on. There we. Okay, then that would be a 10 total.
All right, so you do have that. You explain the process completely normally. So, all right, Maxwell, you have a +2 to your.
What am I doing? A spout lore or?
I'm going to say that
defy danger, because if I get it wrong, it's bad.
Yeah. So this is a defy danger intelligence, because you're basically reactivating a golem with energies that you have only a vaguest idea of how it works. So
energy's energy. It's all fine.
That's true.
I believe blowing a charge off my books after he explains it, just to make sure I've got this fully understood, would be a useful thing. So bag of books.
I will allow that for 1. So
yep,
that'll be
I've got a +3 total.
Boop.
And that's good. 9.
9.
It mostly works.
All right. So yes, you do actually get that. So luckily enough, yeah, it seems to wake in life. It starts moving on its own. It seems to be slightly discordant, but pulls itself together. Looks at you for a second and almost steps a little bit back as it moves forward. So you do have a golem. I will say that though, because of this, I will be, every time that you give it an order in this next fight, I will be making a random roll. If it does not roll high enough, it does not act this turn.
That sounds good.
So it's a little bit glitchy, but you still got that. So that brings us into the next one. So if you want to, you can make your jump.
These guys use metric wrenches, and we've got English, so
that's damn imperial system. So
yep.
Anyway,
it is what it is.
All right. So you all make your way towards the that's like the north side at the central gate of the city. So,
during this time, while they were messing around with the robot,
okay.
I would like to use some bandages. How many hit points do those heal?
For those, that's going to be, I believe that's a 1-for-1 ratio.
Okay.
So yeah, that's going to be a 1-to-1 ratio.
So I will give bandages to those who need them. Who needs bandage?
I'm 5 HP off my total, but like just like a 1 or 2 HP up would be probably all I need for now.
I clear a smudge
give
from
you-
my front view screen, but otherwise I'm good.
Okay.
I'll give you 2, and I'll take 1.
All right.
Cool. Thank you.
And you said grabbing the salt would knock you down 3 hit points.
That was it's like that was actually for Maxwell alone. So because he was actually he has all those. If he wants to, he was basically converting the extra right now. If he wants to share it with any of you, that's fine. So
There, here, convert away.
yeah, but you only have 3, so that's all you were able to do before Reginald walks off. So if you want to hand like 1 for each, if you have 1 each for everybody, that's fine.
But that would require taking some damage.
Oh no, it isn't. So basically, Maxwell, you took all the damage, and
No. I took no damage. Wait. I missed that. When did I take damage?
When you converted the when Reginald helped you convert the salt for yourself.
Right, and I said if it's going to take damage, I don't want it.
Oh, if it's going to take damage, okay, sorry, then you don't have it with you. So
right, we did not do that.
Sure. Okay, sorry, I misunderstood. My apologies. So, all right,
it is inconsistent with this guy's has seemed to come together.
No worries. Go. Sorry, I thought you had said that. So, all right. No. Anyway, yeah, you don't have the consecrated salt. Reginald just has enough to fix the beacons.
Yep.
Okay, great. I was gonna take the damage for Maxwell if he needs me to, but
well, in this case, yeah, I will say that it was only for him basically in that case to be able to use it. So so unfortunately, that's not an option
when
available.
Reginald explained that, it's like no, it'll be fine. We'll figure out something else.
Yep. Sorry in this case, but you do have a full active golem. So organ a pipe
mostly,
organ golem.
Mostly active golem.
Yeah, mostly.
So speaking of which, so these golems were guarding a storehouse. Was there anything else of value in here?
You can it's like you assume right now that it looks like it has a lot of tech in there, but as of this moment, right now you can search for it, but you don't know what's going to happen outside if you're not fighting. So you can take
all right,
a look.
well, let's just prop the door closed so no one walks off with our stuff.
Okay. So you do manage to go ahead and close it with the vents, and with anything else done, you head off to the fight. So all right. Yep. As it takes, I will say you can go ahead and go across the city. You don't have to spend any of your particular charges for that. If you're wanting to ride along your golems on your golem's shoulder, that's cool too. So
I am doing that.
Right. As you get there, yeah, you actually see the largest of the pillars that is producing the pulsing rhythm of light, pillar of light that is below a very tall gentleman. So with a huge pompadour haircut, sunglasses in the middle of that. He looks like very, very fancy. That's like gilded clothing as he's sitting down there almost in a lotus position, looking down, seeming only to breathing in time. But in the same moment, you also see the 3 other golems that are all connected. Their energy is looking almost bluish.
What are they connected to?
It looks like there's the same long cords, but they seem to be snaking into the ground and out of sight. So, so they are obviously connected. So, but in order, but it looks like they just almost appear out of the ground instead of actually going somewhere external.
So they're not exactly material-ish.
So
all the way.
You might be able to do what you did the last time, but it's going to be pretty hard, especially since these ones are not tripped up. But yeah, in the middle of it, there is that's like you see one of them, a figure riding on top of it, which appears to be in the captain's regalia of a cloud ship, who just is screaming aloud and directing the golems to bash their fist against the pillar of light, which is also creating a discordant wave through it.
That's not good.
So, but he is distracted during this turn, so you can have first attack because he does not notice you.
So would say all 3 of those cords be in a nice straight line that could be hit with one shot?
No, they are not.
Okay,
So
I had
to
ask.
No, fair enough. So
I'm going to.
And are there people caught in all of these?
Yes, all 3. If you're looking at their backs, you can basically see that they are exactly the same as the captain has put in human control units essentially into each of these golems. And if you're like a lot of the discord coming from it, they're probably unwilling volunteers. So
I'm gonna try to get above the captain using my wall walking abilities, if that's possible.
Okay. So are you trying to like run up one of the golems and get behind him?
Whatever is available that's above him. If there's like a building that I can climb up that's above him, or
It's a pretty open square though too. Essentially, it's like think about like an entryway where you have a circular that's like almost roundabout with a large gate in the center of it.
circular roundabout with a large gate in the center.
Yes.
Gate
So if you want to
in the
go in
center?
there, but that's also where the beam of light is, and if you touch that, that might be problematic.
Looks like it.
It just depends on how much you like your hand.
That is true.
Well,
Hmm.
I will confer back to my teammates and say, how should we take this guy?
If you want to get up high, you could climb up on one of the golems, and we could make sure to sever that one's cord first.
Hmm.
Be inert.
Yep. This
Yeah, let's
beam
do
of
that.
light that's going up.
Yeah.
Is that something that maybe we could reflect with the right shaped mirror?
That would be
And use as, say, a big, Tesla-like death ray?
one. You would have to wonder where are you getting the mirror from?
Oh, from my adventuring gear, of course.
Okay. Well, that you have a very large mirror. So,
It doesn't have to be large. It just has to be the right shape.
okay.
Skip it. It's
Yeah,
fine.
you can try to it. You can try to, but again, this is also I would say seeing the energy that you were dealing with, especially with Ramos personally, you can try that, but you have no idea what the effect is going to be on yourself, and you also have to get
Yeah.
past the golems to do that.
Right. Direct violence it is.
Okay.
Yeah, but for later, like my specific character very well might have a mirror in my bag, but yeah, I think we have to do the boss fight first.
Okay. So, which is working from it. Okay, so again, they do have the surprise. You do have the golem with you. So
Wait, they have surprise or we have surprise?
you have surprise. So
Okay,
because the captain is concentrating on trying to disrupt the Philippe's ceremony or
Okay,
Philippe's.
Oh,
now,
wait.
and he's on one of the three golems. Are there any size differences, or are they all identical except one has a captain on it?
They're all identical. They're about 9 to 10 feet. So
Okay.
with the similar proportions.
Okay.
Let's
think
we could
take
also
his mount
try
down
some
first.
subterfuge.
Hmm?
We could try some subterfuge.
Oh,
And,
okay, also good.
We could try to have the other golem come in like another helper, ready to help,
Hmm.
and then we'll jump. I don't know, one target.
We'll use the other golem to get close without him seeing us.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. If you want to do that and then contain an element of surprise too, because if you wanted to do that and then run up or try to use that for balance, that would actually be good. But that would be a huge that would be a very careful roll for that.
Okay,
Oh,
let's.
that's, by which you mean if you're like running up the thing. Yeah,
Yes.
so we can use that to close in basically.
Mhm.
The close range.
Yes.
All right.
Let's try it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this will be This will be one person rolling as an order to the golem. So, and I will say that this is absolutely parlay, but you have an automatic +3. Actually, I take that back because you roll 9, so you have a +2 to parlay with it, since on top of any charisma checks.
Okay, Ramos, it's all you,
Yeah.
bud.
Okay. Golem, do our bidding as we have instructed.
Okay.
That would be, and I got a +2. Did I?
Yes, you have a +2.
Okay, then that would be an 11.
An 11, absolutely. So it succeeds, and you have a push. You have a forward on that. So, so it gets you into position. They don't notice it. They think you can see the captain going like, see how this island already takes my bidding. It gives me presents, and yeah, I was like, so he's completely mad with power. He already knows what's going on here.
Is the captain like illuminated with the energy? Is there like a shield around him?
It's not it's not shielding him, but he is covered with more of a bluish energy too. So it's whatever form of the corrupted power that Philippe and
Is infecting him then?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just influencing him.
So I'm gonna, yeah.
So
Okay.
he does. So you do have a push on there. So what other benefit do you want out of this? He doesn't see you. So what do you want instead also to happen?
Well, as... okay.
Orders for the next attack?
If you want just a bonus for whatever attack that you're going through, I will say that all three of you can basically have that. So, so we'll start off left from right. Tony, what are you doing?
Well, one of my abilities is on Death from Above is I can kidnap a target if I successfully attack them. And without the captain there to give orders, if I could kidnap him, even for a round or something, it might cause some chaos.
All right, so you're trying to pull him off and disrupt him. So,
Yeah.
I definitely see as that's going to be a hack and slash maneuver. Since you're trying to get him out of the range, it's still an attack overall. Since you're grappling him, that's going to be pretty difficult though. So, I will say it.
So could it give us a +1 forward with all the bonuses
you do have the +1 forward on that, so because of it, so I'm going to say that it'll because you have the +1 forward, that gives you the amount, so it'll still be at a 0. But yeah, you don't want to fail this. You do not want to fail this.
I'm looking at my dice that have wronged me so terribly in the past. I'm also looking at my experience, and I have 9 failures so far. So
yeah,
hey, one more, you level up.
Exactly.
And then
win-win situation.
Yeah.
Should we just kill this dude instead, though? Like you know that. Not to be too crass, but this guy seems bad. Should we just off the dude?
Well, if
I considered that, but that's why I asked about the energy.
And I'll kidnap him away. So
okay.
Fair enough.
Depending on how well this roll goes. Yeah, awesome. 4. +2 is 6. Okay, so I dive off of the golem, bounce off
the +1.
Golem. He notices me, and I fall down.
All right. Yep. So, so you do get that 1. So go ahead and take up a level. So.
Woohoo!
Oh, actually, yeah. So yeah, and I'm doing this a little bit. Usually, downtime would have that, but I'm.
It's one shot.
Yeah, one shot. We're going through, so you can. Yep, you'll have another advanced move from the class. But yes, the thing is, he does see you as you're coming down, and moves off. That's like, you dare attack. That's like, attack the great master of this island, and you end up tumbling down, and you don't go. That's like you manage to smash onto the side of one of the shoulders, so you don't go completely down. But oof, that's gonna be 5 damage.
Okay.
As I directly into
up,
the shoulder.
Can I take Spider's Grip, which means I never lose my grip, and when I fall, I can catch myself?
Yes, absolutely. So you can do that.
Does that
but
any of the damage, or do I still take 5?
Oh no, you're still taking 5. So you let me look at that, but I'm pretty sure that just basically means that you're not falling off. So, let's see for the walker
before impact.
Where are you seeing that on Spider's Grip? So, is that on your advanced moves, or
it's the second? Is the third from the bottom?
No. Okay. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to do that because that's that essentially that you got that one because of the failure, so you wouldn't have that advanced move yet. So
okay, I will wait before taking my advanced move until.
Yeah, no worries. So yeah, but you take the 5, but I will say that you basically landed on the shoulder. So, but he did notice you. There are 2 other attacks that he will not notice yet. So all right, Maxwell Ramos, what are you doing? I'm
going to shoot him. What would you like to do, Ramos?
Oh, so I was sorry. I was out of it for a second. I want to shoot him. I have a crossbow. I'm just thinking, oh, this guy's bad. I'm gonna twang him.
Yep, take a shot.
Okay. Yep. You don't. Yep. You don't. Yeah, and he's not going to respond. So even if you miss, he will not. Yeah, it's like there will not be any negative effects this turn. So.
And do I get a +1 on this roll from the forward?
Yes, you do.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Then I got an 11.
And 11. Okay. So, all right. So let's see. And what's the damage on the crossbow?
So just my damage is a D4.
D4. Okay. Go ahead and roll that.
Okay. That's a 4.
Okay, 4. All righty then. Let me take a look and see. You said you had your damage alone, but you said you had a crossbow, correct?
Yes, yeah. Sort of one of my 4 gear things is an antique weapon with 3 ammo, and it's a crossbow.
Crossbow. So antique crossbow. So any range weapon. Antique crossbow. So all right, I'm gonna say that's a +1 because for some reason it wasn't giving you. That should be something else. So that's going to be a 5 in turn. So that's still good though.
Okay.
And it does pierce into them. It does strike, but you do see that the energy has slowed it down ever so slightly. So he's only going to take 3, but that's still good though.
Okay,
So
cool. All right.
all right. So that's down for 3 at least. All right, and Maxwell.
All right, so volley is plus dex. So volleying with the energy cannon, which is a piercing 2 weapon.
Okay.
Of near range. See how that
Near
goes.
and you're near range on that. Okay.
I assume so, because we stuck up.
Yep. So that'll be So that's a +1 on that.
Okay.
So you have a +2
Ooh.
on this. So
Okay, so yeah, wait, so I have a +2 base.
yes.
Okay, and then +1 for my dex.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's a +3, which brings us to 8, which is much better than it could have been.
All right. So yep, that still
All
hits.
right.
That's not going to be at the. Yeah. So you.
I
Yep.
can either have the move get the shot and place myself in danger, do less damage, or reduce ammo. So the first one's the only one that's at all acceptable. I have to move to get the shot and placing myself in danger. So I guess I'll be out exposed once I take the shot.
Yeah. So next turn, right now, you will have to deal.
So I have
with
no
other
idea how much damage this does.
All right. So let's take a look. Mechanic. Let's see.
It's under choose your weapon, line 3, energy cannon.
At the top of the mechanic page, it just says damage D8. So my understanding is just you just
piercing 2 ammo, make ammo. So so yes, girl, go ahead and roll the D8.
All right. That's a 5 on the D8. Then
nice.
What happens? Then piercing 2, I assume negates 2 armor.
That negates 2 armor, so you actually pierce through. It says there's the energy weapon right now. It pierced through the armor that he was actually that the energy is providing. So that actually does 5 full damage. So that's actually good.
How wound-related does he look?
So let's see. He looks. That's like he's taken 7 so far. He looks pretty pissed off, but he is not. It's like he's not stumbling just yet. So, also and I will say that because this does not take a roll to see this, but as he's moving forward, you do see some of the blue energy is being siphoned off of the golems themselves, which are slowing down slightly and going into him.
So he's probably trying to heal.
So it's possibly he's trying to heal from this. So, but he does notice you right now, so he will be able to get attacks on you the next turn. And I will say, because you did that, his focus is primarily on you. While the other, at least one of the other, yeah. So you pissed him off further. So back to the top of the round, and we will start off with Click. What are you doing?
All right, I'm the worst Assassin's Creed player ever. So instead of trying to death from above him again, I'm just gonna climb up, and he's definitely not defenseless or surprised right now.
Yes, no, yeah, he has defenses, so he has so the energy is providing some amount of armor, and he is aware. So,
all right, I'm just gonna climb up to the top of the golem where he's at and just hack and slash him.
Okay, so I will say, yep, you can go ahead and get that. You were actually more on the shoulder too, off to the side where you hit. So I'm not gonna say that, but yeah, you can try to make another attack on him.
Okay, it's basic 7.
7. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that means that you can land, but there will be a. That's like, but you expose yourself to an enemy attack.
Okay.
So.
All right. So I do 1 piercing on my attack as well, and I actually rolled max damage on a D8. So that's 9.
Oh, so on that 9. So damn. Oh God. So, all right. Yep. So you got that. He only goes down 1. So did you? So let's see. You rolled 8
with a spear?
Okay, so you got 8. You did that, and
I have a +1 piercing. So how does piercing work?
Piercing work is basically against armor. So that basically that means that you negate one of the armors, and he has at least 2. So because of that, so that actually would just be the straight 8 if that does that.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, and I'm using the reach of the spear, so I'm like hanging on to where like the clavicle of the golem is, and like reaching up and poking him.
Okay, yeah. So, all right. Yeah, so yeah, you get his attention. Actually, that hurts pretty badly. But because you made physical contact with him, you actually see that blue energy racing back down and strikes you, which you hear the mass discord. So, That's
damage
going to
shield.
that's only going to be 2 damage, but you're going to be stunned for the next turn. So
Okay, so I take 1 because of my armor, or does it go through armor?
this one goes through armor, so that's piercing.
Oh.
So you only take 2, but you are stunned for the next turn, so you're going to have to recover from that. So, all right. So, and next one, Maxwell.
All right, so I'm out of ammo, but can I grab some, handy dandy chunk of debris and volley it at him?
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, there's pipe organs that are basically falling off here too as well.
There we go.
So if you want to do that, you can go
Yeah,
ahead and
that because especially if I just saw that there was a reaction to Ramos or Click touching him, I would like to avoid that.
okay. So you can go ahead and do that.
All right. Oops. This is a hack and slash, which uses int. Well, actually, I guess it would be volley, so it uses dex. With dex, it's a +1. That's a 7.
All right. So that's another attack on that. Excellent.
And again, I will shift around and move.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your damage on that.
And basically taunt him to maintain his focus on me. Could be 8. Wow.
8. Jeez.
Was there any pluses on that? No. This is not piercing though, because
it's not. So it's not. So, but that does 6, and good God. So, all right. So, but
it hurts to be pipe organed.
It does. So, but yeah, actually, as you do that, so it does get him in the chest, and actually almost goes completely through. You hear him scream out, but it actually causes a discordant noise
because it's going through the pipe organ.
It's going through the pipe organ too, and that ends up hurting you as well because this is other damage. So, let's see. Oh shit. This is basically piercing as well through sound. So take 6.
So the 2 points of armor I have do no good, even though I'm sealed in.
Yes, because in this case it is a piercing audio. So even
we've established that this did defend against sound, but that's fine.
It did it on this case, but it did it on the previous ones. But this one, it just seems to completely go through. So
just making sure we're on the same page. Okay, so
you are. So,
yep, no problem.
Yep, no. In other normal cases, that would have had, but he is absolutely staggered, and you are seeing some of the blue shifting off of that. And it's about this time, if the others are looking down, you do see that Reginald has appeared with Leap and is starting to inscribe and view the inscription, the runes with the rest of the salt. So it's going to take one more solid hit. So that can either be Daniel. I will say you've also, or Amos, you've it's like you can do your attack. Also, the golem has yet to attack this turn since the others are still laser focused on the beam.
Yeah, how about maybe I'll ask the golem really nice. Is asking the golem to attack my turn, or do I get a turn also?
You would get your turn now. I'm just letting you know you haven't given him his directions yet.
Okay, so maybe the order I give to the golem is, you see that pipe organ in his chest? How about you punch that in a little deeper?
Okay, so all right, to try to crush that in there. All right, go ahead and make your charisma +2 check.
Okay. That succeeds because that's a 7.
Sweet.
Okay, so all right, so this is what ends up happening. So you manage to, as the captain is starting to spout off again about how he won't be denied his destiny and his rightful place among the clouds, your golem manages to clamp around him and put the fist in. And as you could hear this horrible, god-awful hissing sound as he just clenches the fist, and whatever air or music or whatever was left within the captain just escapes immediately and expires. The other golem, unfortunately, it's like as you do that, the other golems seem to just start to shudder and shake with that. But they do go down. But everybody else, if you look down, notices that each of the chests are. It's like have the other humans inside are still glowing with that bluish energy, and the beat under the main beacon is starting to pulsate faster and faster. So, in this case, So as you look down, yeah, you also see that the connections with that bluish energy is still is actually still going into each of the each of the captain's golems as he's going through. So it's like that might still be a problem. And Philippe screams at you. Oh, you hear Philippe screaming a little bit, but then Reginald's I will say looks up at Maxwell and appears in a puff of smoke, stating, it's like, quickly, you need to put these on each of them.
And what are these?
So it's basically the bags of salt. So he ended up having extra. You need to consecrate these before that's like the ritual is complete, or else I don't know what's going to happen.
So we need to put them on them immediately, except we can't because we have to consecrate them?
Well, that's what it basically is asking you to do, to basically put this on them in order to consecrate them.
Oh, okay. So it's basically bag them.
Yes. So he gives one to each of you.
Are the bags conveniently sized to go over their heads?
Well, basically, it's just a bag to basically put on their chest. So if you can reach through the organs and do that. So each of you is going to have a defy danger from this. Each of you will have 3. So so we're going to start left from right. So first off, click. I'm going to say that we're doing this quickly. So I will.
Sun wears off from the last turn.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So that's where it worn off. So I will say though that you can defy danger in any way you want to get down there, but you just have to explain it.
I'm gonna power through it. I'm just gonna run. I'm gonna like slide and fall, taking damage, and like just power through. Just like use all my strength of all the servos on my body, and just jump and dodge through everything, and just run straight through anything. Straight line, path of least resistance.
And you said the golems are all laying down now?
They basically they're actually standing straight up. They kind of like slumped over.
Okay, slumped. Got it.
Okay, so it's my roll. Of course,
Wow.
Failed.
All right. So did you make you failed that?
Yep.
Okay. So all right. You try to get your hand in. It seems so problematic to get in there, but you don't really know much of it. So all right. Next one, Maxwell.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to use my quick and clever thinking to use the optics I use for aiming my energy beam to make sure I lob the bag lovingly right into the middle of the pipes.
Okay.
Okay, and let's see how that works. 9 + 2 is 11.
All right. So all right, you got a full success on there too.
I swoosh it.
All right, and because of that, you will actually you have a forward on that, so you can actually, if you want to, you can pick up Click's bag and basically toss it in.
I will do that.
All right, since you had a good enough one. All right, and finally, Ramos.
Okay, I guess. So I'm just trying to get one of these bags of salt onto the chests of this third golem operator. That's what
yeah, you're basically just trying to use this to kind of separate the other ones, like you did with the previous.
We need to season our golems.
Yes, season your golems.
Okay. Well, this is a defy danger roll, is it?
Yes, that's a defy danger, utilizing whichever aspect you want. So as long as you're explaining it.
Well,
Ramos, you did the Salt Bay thing. I bet you. I dare you.
Okay, well, I mean, this is a little metagamey.
Okay.
Were I to use sort of a charismatic Salt Bay,
Exactly.
dip the salt onto the chest just right, and I could use charisma, that would be a 7, which would succeed.
Let me take a look here.
I understand if that's a little too far.
So yeah, like
okay.
Yeah, this is the physical challenge. So
it's a near miss then.
All right. So all right, but you do miss yours right now. But it's about that time where you just only have become now aware of it. But it sounds like the entire island is rising with the sound of a massive crescendo, and once it hits that beat, it just goes silent, dead. Everybody else, your vision goes black, you hear nothing else. It is it feels like the end of the concert. So, and speaking of this right now, so first off, in this case, once you wake up, click and excuse me, Maxwell. You open your eyes and you see that the day it's like you look up and the air smells very fresh, like refreshingly. It's wonderful. And you look around, you see the same, basically at the entrance. It's like you're on the roundabout with the archway, but all the stone doesn't look in disused or pitted. It actually looks like it's been maintained, just very white and marbly. And as you pick yourself up, you look around and you actually see that there are many people. It's like hundreds starting moving back and forth within the entryway. So, yeah, and standing before you right now, you actually see that there are two of the people you saw before. You see Reginald, who seems to be picking up Philippe, who's kind of stumbling. So, which is kind of hilarious for somebody who's 4 foot trying to get somebody else up who's like 6'7".
Yeah,
But
that's totally normal.
As you, that's like as you pick yourself up, though, you notice that Ramos is not there.
Huh.
Weird.
So, yep. Why don't you get back to you right now? Oh, Philippe Philippe just seems to shake his head. Reginald looks up. That was a stupid, stupid plan. Do you not realize this? Philippe starts nodding his head. Yes, I realize that, but ultimately I think it finally came down to to the end that we wanted. So that's like when I realized that this place wasn't just an echo, it was someplace that was lost. And so he looks back over you. I'm so terribly sorry. Are you okay?
What?
Uh,
His ears dripping a little bit from the sound thing.
tinnitus.
A little.
So actually, the thing is that you actually feel really good. Like you can
Okay.
hear just fine.
Okay. I feel like there's someone. Where's my servant? Where's Ramos?
To discern reality. Am I dead?
So, no, you don't even know that. No, you're not dead.
No, good.
You feel alive, so. Perhaps I should explain myself a little bit further. So, it points across the circle, and so you see like a small outdoor cafe. Why don't you sit down for a second?
Where's
We're clank clank crunch.
Yeah. So, yes, absolutely. The golems that you saw the golems that you were in the square are nowhere around. However, as you're moving out the square, you can actually see them moving between buildings. Much more beautiful too. They look like it's like all the pipe working looks very shiny. It looks like they're moving with grace and ease. So you can't even feel them moving across the ground. And you actually realize that you are hearing music, but it's almost pastoral, that it feels very calm and at peace. And so, but as you sit down, you see that people, it's like it's like somebody is serving you drinks or coffee or tea at this point, and he says, Philippe says, I I understand. I believe Reginald has already described to you what an Echomancer is, correct?
Sort of.
The baseline is confusing with necromancy is the fact that we interact with the dead, which is a bit of a misnomer. I interact with that's like the reflections, the echoes that people leave behind when they die, or the spirits. And when I came to the city first, I realized there was something off from it, considering the first adventure I had, quote marks. But that's like, well, releasing a girl from her spirit. But I realized that she and her family were not in turn dead, or the ones that were keeping a watch over this place as they were before. Something befell this city which sent it into a spiritual limbo. something else that was that's like neither living nor dead. And as I kept examining further, I realized that it was literally whatever the magics they went through actual music that sent them. That's like sent them someplace else, or sent them into a transitory state that they couldn't escape from.
Hmm.
I attempted a way through my own magics to be able to bring them back, but unfortunately, I didn't realize the toll that that was taking on me, and to the point where they try to emerge outside of it. So because this area is completely unique to anything else in the clouds, and as you look back, you can actually see some of the giant hook cannons that are almost on the edge of the island.
Yep.
It would literally pull them away. So I thank you again for your efforts here, but I do have some news, and I'm afraid that with the captain and the discord that he brought here, that made your friend's transition problematic back into the life that you knew.
Wait, what do you mean?
So he puts it over there, and at this point, Ramos, you
Hello.
saw some guy serving. You came over to do your job at the cafe. Saw some guys sit down, really all dressed kind of really weird for the area, but you're not there, and you're kind of wondering why they're really staring at you hard.
Oh boy.
So,
I mean,
and,
you get all these weirdos, in the service industry. I guess, I don't like them looking at me so much, but what can you do? It's a living.
yeah, they look a little bit familiar, but that's odd because
You
that's
corrupted his hard drive and reformatted him wrong. Is that what
Yeah.
you're trying to say? Well, he looks happy enough.
So, but yeah, it's odd that you see them because you've been living your entire life on on the side on this island. So, but you can't really know about that. So, but yeah, but basically, Philippe has told you is that because you weren't able to consecrate the last of the the discord that the captain brought in, it just reintegrated fully. It reintegrated Ramos into the city, and if you look around, it's pretty peaceful. So, as far as you can tell from understand what the other locals are telling you, this is a trade hub that acts in that has apparently been acting in. That has been traveling around for years, and is very excited about the fact that they've discovered Hephaestus's Link, a place that they've never seen before.
Okay, so they did bring everyone to our current era, not
Yes.
we dropped back through time to when they entered the spirit realm.
Nope. Yeah, you're fine too. And after you pick up your stuff, you do go back to your ship and you find the captain waiting in the docks. So
we're only okay if we pick up some of their stuff.
So, well, you find him actually talking to some of the other people, and apparently that has been forgiven since you are in. It's like he's been able to during the time which you discerned, like it's only been like a day or two at this point in your mind, but it's apparently been weeks since you last particularly woke up. So, he's actually been able to discern some trade agreements, which is more than enough for the payment for the boats that were lost. So. In this case, right now, it's like you've, except for one member who is gone forever, you've pretty much.
He's not gone. He's over at that cafe.
That is true. So, but you've basically brought back an entire civilization that was almost completely lost. So that ends the game. So at that point, questions, comments, suggestions?
Yeah, I would like to have a little scene with Ramos.
Okay, so if you want to end it, fine, go for it. So.
Yeah, so I'll just be like trying to talk to him to convince him to come back with us, and then I realize that he's not the same, or he's like slightly different. I show him like a picture of all of us together, surrounded by the beetle. And does he recognize it at all?
Okay, so in that case, Ramos, last roll, 1d6 odd or even.
Be back in a moment.
Let's go for odd.
All right, so go ahead.
Okay. They reintegrated me back really well. I think I have like a wife and a kid. I think they really like spirited me back. Yeah. So sorry, that's not enough. I'm gonna stay here.
All right. So yep, you don't really know enough. So sorry.
As he walks off into the distance, I just say, I bet you won't come back with us.
So, all right, but yep. So in that case, your adventures will have to continue without your friend. So, but yeah, that basically ends everything. So,
We had all the loot.
yeah.
Oh.
So, but yeah, basically that's kind of the whole game works right now too. For this right now. So any comment, any questions on things that we felt didn't get covered, or?
Sort of the only question I have is sort of the was the music there and being faster or slower, was that sort of like primarily fluff, or was there some mechanical change? Or like, I know that sometimes the music was fast and sometimes the music was slow. Was there sort of any mechanism that if we had have gone another path, we could have like manipulated that or done anything with that? Or was that just sort of like fun set dressing? Because it was indeed fun.
No, that actually had a mechanical point to it. That the faster they did that, that would be, or the faster the beat, or the more discord, the more the more impediments you would have to your to what was going on. So basically, anytime like on the docks when you had more people and it was beating faster, that's why it was crowded. Why they would only go through because it was exerting control over that. So if you had not taken that as quickly as you had, then you would have had a lot more spirits to deal with in the end.
Okay.
So, and that's why I was going through. And also, since there's only 3 of you, and I was planning on a 4th person being here, that's why I reduced a little bit of the requirements down once you got past the last 2. So, but yeah, that's part of the control. That was part of at least the control mechanism that the captain was using. So if in order to change, so if you had really ignored that, it would have been a much harder fight for you. So, and he would have had a lot more energy on his side.
I'm glad I came up with the right MacGuffin at the right time.
No, that actually worked out pretty well too. That goes in there. So, but yeah, the whole basis of this, and I will link this afterwards, is that there is an animatic music video that was made by a guy for a Mystery Skull song called Magic, and I ended up using that in the first one, and I just kind of wanted to reuse the character again. So
nice.
Which is why I like that too. Any comments or suggestions for this scenario?
No, it's fun.
All right. So excellent. So yeah, hopefully you felt okay with the apocalypse, powered by the apocalypse rules here, because sometimes it can feel like a little bit off where you're not sure what to do in that or what can work, but it felt like we were rolling pretty well with it overall. So
yeah, everything was fine until the cat just walked over me.
Okay, well that's always an issue. So
yeah, no, it was interesting to actually play. I mean, I think it was. I mean, it's a different system than I've played before, but I enjoyed it, quite frankly. It was. Yeah,
I would definitely run the system for my friends, and it was a good game.
All right, good,
Thanks
excellent. So, no, I'm absolutely. So, all right, well, everybody else, thank you again for listening, and thank you again so much for playing, guys. So, if you liked what you heard, remember you can always pay us like at our $10 Patreon level. You can come in and actually register for these games yourselves, which are run by Ross, Bridget, Kyle, and a lot of other people during the week. So, thank you again for playing, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.